The lingering warmth of your linen covers gently recedes as you swing your legs to meet the cool, smooth surface of the polished stone floor. A faint, almost imperceptible tremor from the waking city vibrates through the room, a distant hum beneath the silence of your cedarwood chamber. You push away the heavy, embroidered blanket. Its thick threads, a rich tapestry of deep indigo and gold, woven with stylized patterns of reeds and riverfish, and rise slowly, allowing your body to adjust to the subtle shift in temperature. Your bare feet find the familiar chill of the dark basalt tiles, each stone meticulously cut and laid centuries ago, now cool and grounding beneath your soles. You walk deliberately across the chamber, past the tall, carved cedarwood chest, whose resinous scent still subtly perfumes the morning air, towards the wide archway. It opens into your private ablution chamber, a smaller, intimate space. The light here is softer, diffused through a high, narrow alabaster window, casting a gentle, milky glow on the finely hammered bronze basin that rests on a low, polished limestone plinth. A quiet attendant, anticipating your needs with practiced grace, has already drawn fresh water. You hear the softest, almost inaudible splash as she pours a final ewer of cool, clear liquid from a terracotta amphora into the bronze, the metal singing a low, resonant note that quickly fades. Her movements are fluid and respectful, a mere shadow in the periphery of your vision, ensuring your privacy remains undisturbed. You reach out, your fingertips brushing the cool, smooth lip of the basin, then dip them into the water, feeling its refreshing clarity against your skin, a delicate chill that awakens. The air carries a faint, clean scent of crushed mint, growing in a small, terracotta pot near the window, a subtle, herbaceous awakening for the senses. You cup the water in your palms, letting it trickle over your wrists, the sensation both delicate and invigorating. Then, you splash it gently onto your face, the cool drops invigorating, chasing away the last vestiges of sleep. The sound is soft, contained within the stone walls of the small room, a private symphony of morning. You reach for the finely woven linen cloth laid out beside the basin, its texture soft and absorbent, a delicate comfort as you slowly pat your skin dry, appreciating the quiet ritual observed since childhood. The linen feels like a whisper against your skin, gathering the remaining moisture without effort. Turning from the basin, your gaze drifts to the clothing laid out for the day. A tunic of fine, undyed Babylonian linen, its weave loose and breathable, rests upon a low, dark ebony stool, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich polish. Beside it, a simple girdle of braided leather, softened by years of careful use, waits patiently. The morning light catches the subtle, natural sheen of the fabric, promising ease and coolness as the day begins to warm outside your walls. You notice the tiny, almost invisible imperfections in the linen weave, evidence of its handcrafted origin. You pause, allowing your eyes to trace the faint, intricate patterns carved into the ebony wood of the stool's legs, small, stylized cuneiform symbols of protection, a detail often overlooked, but always present. The silence of the ablution chamber deepens around you, punctuated only by the distant, rhythmic clatter of an unseen loom from a neighboring courtyard, a gentle, comforting counterpoint to your quiet preparations. You take a slow, deep breath, the subtle scent of cedar and mint filling your lungs, a tranquil readiness settling within you. The cool, smooth linen tunic settles over your shoulders, a light, breathable layer against your skin, a welcome contrast to the heavier blanket of moments ago. You secure the braided leather girdle around your waist, the soft, worn material yielding gently as you adjust its fit, the familiar weight a comforting presence. With your morning preparations complete, you step from the intimate quiet of the ablution chamber, leaving behind the faint, clean scent of mint, and enter the hushed corridor of your private wing. The polished basalt tiles continue underfoot, cool and unyielding, guiding your steps. The corridor is dimly lit, the early morning light not yet strong enough to fully penetrate the high, narrow windows that line its length. Shadows cling to the corners, softening the edges of the carved stone reliefs that adorn the walls, depicting scenes of ancient rituals and bountiful harvests. Your footsteps, bare and soft, make no sound on the smooth surface, a quiet journey through the sleeping palace. You pass by closed, heavy cedarwood doors, each one a silent guardian of slumbering chambers, feeling the subtle shift in air temperature as you move through the long hall. A subtle, earthy aroma begins to filter into the air as you approach a heavier, unadorned door at the corridor's end. This is the entrance to your private perfumery, a sanctuary of scent, rarely disturbed. You push the door inward with a gentle hand, feeling the solid resistance of the thick wood, the faint whisper of its well-oiled hinges. The air within is immediately richer, layered with the complex dry sweetness of resins, the subtle spice of roots, and the faint green notes of dried herbs. It is a familiar and comforting embrace, a scent that speaks of purpose and tradition. The perfumery is a spacious, high-ceilinged room, well ventilated by strategically placed vents near the ceiling, drawing in the fresh morning air. Rows of terracotta jars, some sealed with beeswax, others stoppered with polished wood, line meticulously organized shelves carved into the thick stone walls. Each vessel holds a precious essence, a rare oil, or a finely ground powder, carefully sourced from distant lands. The morning light, though still soft, illuminates the dust motes dancing in the air, catching the glint of small bronze tools laid out with precision on a long, dark wood workbench in the center of the room. You walk towards a specific section of the shelves, your eyes scanning the neatly inscribed clay tablets that serve as labels for each jar. Your fingers trace the cool, rough surface of a large, cylindrical jar, its unglazed terracotta, porous and earthy beneath your touch. This one holds the finest frankincense resin, destined for the royal blend today. With deliberate care, you reach for the heavy, perfectly fitted wooden stopper, feeling the slight suction as you gently twist and lift it. The faint, dry sound of wood separating from terracotta is almost imperceptible in the quiet room. As the stopper lifts, the air around you thickens, and the first true breath of the rare frankincense rises to meet you. It is a clean, sharp, yet profoundly warm aroma, mingling notes of pine and citrus with a deep, almost balsamic sweetness. You close your eyes for a moment, inhaling slowly, allowing the ancient, resinous scent to fill your senses. A clear, purifying essence that prepares your mind for the meticulous work ahead. The scent is a promise of clarity, a quiet invitation to focus. The profound, clear scent of frankincense still lingers in the air around you, a bright, resinous promise of the day's work. You gently replace the wooden stopper on the terracotta jar, the soft thud a final punctuation to that initial inhalation, and turn your attention to the next essential component of the royal blend. Your gaze drifts along the carefully arranged shelves, searching for the richer, deeper notes that will anchor the frankincense's ethereal lift. You find it in a smaller, darker ceramic amphora, its surface smooth and cool beneath your fingertips, a contrast to the rough terracotta. This vessel holds the precious myrrh resin, known for its grounding, warm and slightly bitter aroma. The raw pieces of myrrh inside are irregular, dark amber tears, some almost black, with a subtle, oily sheen where the light catches them. You lift the amphora, feeling its satisfying weight, and carry it to the long, dark wood workbench that dominates the center of your perfumery. An attendant, who has been quietly arranging a set of bronze pestles and polished basalt mortars at the far end of the bench, looks up with a respectful, unspoken acknowledgement. Her movements are precise, almost soundless, as she selects the largest, heaviest basalt mortar, its inner surface worn smooth from countless grindings. She then chooses a matching pestle, its bronze head gleaming softly in the filtered light, the long, slender wooden handle perfectly balanced. The subtle clink of bronze against stone is barely audible, a soft, metallic whisper. You place the amphora of myrrh before her, and she nods, her gaze steady and understanding. With careful hands, she tips the amphora, allowing a small, measured amount of the dark myrrh resin to spill into the cool, dark basin of the basalt mortar. The pieces tumble gently, making a soft, dry, click-clack sound as they settle, a delicate music of preparation. She then takes up the bronze pestle, her grip firm and practiced. Her arm begins to move in a slow, steady rhythm, the heavy pestle descending with measured force into the mortar. The first impact is a dull, muffled thump, as the myrrh pieces resist, then slowly yield. You watch as she begins to crush and grind, a circular motion, pressing and twisting, breaking down the larger chunks into smaller fragments. The sound is a low, persistent jacqueregrin, a rhythmic, almost hypnotic friction of stone against resin, punctuated by the occasional soft crack as a more stubborn piece gives way. A delicate cloud of fine, reddish-brown dust begins to rise, suspended momentarily in the air before slowly settling back into the mortar, coating the raw resin with a velvety layer. With each slow, deliberate rotation of the pestle, the aroma of myrrh intensifies, unfolding its complex character. It's a deep, earthy scent, warm and slightly medicinal, with hints of ancient soil and dried spices, a profound depth that contrasts beautifully with the frankincense. You observe the gradual transformation, the hard, brittle resin slowly softening, yielding to a fine, fragrant powder. The attendant works with an unwavering focus, her breathing even and shallow, her hands moving with the grace of long practice. The subtle scent fills the air around you, grounding and rich. You lean slightly closer, not to interfere, but to simply observe the meticulous process. The grains of myrrh become finer, their individual forms blurring into a uniform, soft powder. The sound of the grinding grows softer, more consistent, a continuous, gentle as the friction diminishes. The air is thick, with the warm, enveloping aroma, a silent invitation to deeper calm. The rhythmic, soft of the pestle against the myrrh finally subsides, leaving behind a fine, reddish-brown powder, its deep, warm aroma now fully integrated into the perfumery's air. You watch as the attendant carefully scrapes the fragrant powder from the basalt mortar into a small, lidded alabaster jar, her movements precise and unhurried. The delicate day-two of the bronze scraper against the stone is a quiet punctuation, gathering every precious grain. She seals the alabaster jar with its smooth, tight-fitting lid, then places it gently on a tray, ready for the next stage of the blend. You turn your attention to the expansive, polished ebony table that occupies the central space of the workshop, its dark, reflective surface gleaming softly in the filtered morning light. This is where the final blend will be composed, a canvas for the day's aromatic artistry. Along its length, an array of small, exquisite vessels awaits, each holding a different component for the royal fragrance. There are miniature earthenware bowls filled with dried flower petals, tiny glass vials containing precious oils, and shallow bronze dishes cradling gleaming resin tears, all arranged with meticulous order. Your fingers hover over a shallow, wide-mouthed clay bowl, its inner surface a pale, creamy white, holding a cluster of dried rose petals. They are a deep, muted crimson, their edges slightly curled and brittle with age, yet still retaining a ghost of their heady, sweet perfume. You reach in, carefully selecting a few petals, feeling their almost weightless, papery texture between your thumb and forefinger. A faint, dry rustle accompanies your touch, a soft whisper of dried flora. You arrange them with deliberate care in a small, intricate pattern on the cool, smooth ebony surface, creating a visual harmony before their scent is fully released. Next, you move to a small, lidded wooden box, crafted from fragrant cypress, its lid adorned with delicate, inlaid mother-of-pearl. Inside, nestled on a bed of fine linen, are tiny, translucent golden tears of styrax resin. They possess a subtle stickiness, a gentle resistance as you lift one, its surface catching the light with a faint amber glow. The aroma is warm, balsamic, with hints of vanilla and cinnamon, a comforting sweetness that adds a luxurious depth. You place the styrax tears beside the rose petals, their forms contrasting the delicate curl of the petal against the smooth, irregular shape of the resin. A small, open bronze dish holds dried iris root, finely cut into thin, pale slivers. They are a dusty, off-white, almost woody in appearance, and when you gently brush your finger across them, a subtle, earthy, violet-like scent rises. It's an unexpected, powdery sweetness, a sophisticated note that will bridge the heavier resins and the lighter florals. You carefully pick up a few slivers, feeling their dry, firm texture, and arrange them in a small, neat pile beside the other components on the ebony. The air in the perfumery now holds a richer, more complex symphony of aromas. The sharp clarity of frankincense, the deep warmth of myrrh, the sweet whisper of rose, the balsamic notes of styrax, and the powdery earthiness of iris. Each ingredient, carefully selected and meticulously prepared, lies waiting on the dark, polished surface, a tableau of ancient luxury and aromatic promise. You take a moment to simply observe the arrangement, the interplay of colors and textures, a quiet anticipation building within the tranquil space. Leaving the concentrated aromas of the perfumery behind, you step through a low archway, its ancient, weathered stone cool against your shoulder, and enter the cool, fresh air of your private herb garden. The immediate sensation is a gentle shift in temperature, a subtle embrace of the morning's crispness, a welcome contrast to the warmer, spice-laden air of your workshop. Above, the sun, though still low, filters through an intricate lattice of cypress wood, dappling the flagstone path with shifting patterns of pale light and deep shadow, creating a dynamic, yet tranquil, mosaic underfoot. Your bare feet find the familiar, slightly rough texture of the large, flat flagstones, each stone worn smooth by generations of gentle footsteps, now cool and damp with the lingering moisture of the night. The path winds leisurely through the carefully tended beds, bordered by low, intricately carved limestone edges. To your left, a small, tiered fountain burbles quietly, its continuous, soft murmur a constant, soothing presence in the garden, a delicate, liquid whisper that blends seamlessly with the distant, muted sounds of the waking palace. The water catches the nascent sunlight, sparkling like scattered gems as it cascades from one basin to the next. You follow the winding path, your gaze drifting over the dense, verdant foliage. Beds of thyme and marjoram spread low and wide, their tiny, aromatic leaves still glistening with countless individual droplets of morning dew, each one a miniature, perfect sphere reflecting the pale sky. The air here is clean, infused with the mingled, earthy scents of damp soil and green growth, a grounding aroma that clears the senses. A solitary gardener, his back to you, kneels silently by a bed of flowering lavender in the distance, his movements slow and deliberate as he tends to the delicate blooms, his presence a quiet, unobtrusive part of the garden's peace. Your hand reaches out instinctively towards a sprawling jasmine vine, its delicate, dark green leaves heavily laden with tiny, shimmering droplets of dew. The vine clings to a tall, meticulously sculpted trellis of dark cedar, its slender branches reaching upwards, a delicate, fragrant curtain. You gently brush your fingertips across a cluster of the jasmine leaves, feeling the cool, wet film of dew transfer to your skin, a delicate, refreshing touch. The subtle pressure releases a faint, sweet, almost ethereal perfume from the hidden white blossoms, a whisper of the jasmine's potent fragrance, far subtler than the concentrated essences in your workshop, yet perfectly pure. You trace the intricate veins on a single jasmine leaf with your thumb, feeling its smooth, cool surface, the tiny dewdrops clinging stubbornly to its edges. The air, now lightly scented with the delicate sweetness of jasmine, feels soft against your skin as you continue your slow, observant stroll. A gentle, almost imperceptible breeze rustles through the taller plants, a quiet sigh of the awakening garden, carrying the faintest hint of distant rose. The cool, wet sensation of the jasmine leaves slowly fades from your fingertips, as the morning sun, now higher in the Babylonian sky, begins to cast a more direct and gentle warmth across the garden. You feel its soft embrace on your skin, a comforting counterpoint to the lingering coolness of the dew-kissed flagstones. The delicate, sweet whisper of jasmine still traces the air, but your steps now lead you towards a different, equally precious corner of your cultivated sanctuary. You follow a narrow, winding path of small, flat river stones, their surfaces smooth and gray, feeling their subtle unevenness beneath your bare feet. The path guides you past beds of fragrant herbs, their leaves now shimmering with a drier, more vibrant green as the morning moisture evaporates. The soft, continuous burble of the tiered fountain remains a constant, soothing accompaniment, its sound a gentle background hum. Ahead, a low, rectangular bed, meticulously bordered with polished river pebbles, comes into view. Here, nestled amongst slender grass-like leaves, bloom the delicate, pale purple crocuses, each one a fleeting testament to the garden's carefully managed beauty. You approach the bed with a quiet reverence, the subtle aroma of damp earth giving way to a faint, sweet, almost hay-like fragrance that emanates from the delicate flowers. Kneeling slowly on a small, finely woven reed mat, its rough texture a grounding presence beneath your knees, you position yourself to begin the meticulous task. The air around you is still and calm, disturbed only by the softest rustle of a distant palm frond. Your gaze settles upon a single, perfect purple bloom. Within its cup, 3 slender, vibrant, orange-red stigmas, the precious saffron threads, stand erect, almost glowing with an inner warmth. You reach for a pair of delicate bronze tweezers, their tips finely pointed and cool against your fingers, specifically crafted for this precise work. The metal gleams softly in the gentle light, a tool of precision and care. With utmost gentleness you extend the tweezers, carefully positioning their fine tips around the base of one of the saffron threads. The touch is light, almost imperceptible. You exert the barest pressure, a gentle squeeze, feeling the thread yield with a faint, almost inaudible snip as it detaches from the flower's heart. It is surprisingly soft, almost silken, as it rests momentarily between the bronze tips before you carefully transfer it. You place each gathered thread into a small, shallow bowl of polished obsidian, its dark, reflective surface providing a striking contrast to the fiery crimson of the saffron. The individual threads lie delicately against the smooth, cool stone, their vibrant color a tiny, intense spark. As each thread is added, a subtle, honeyed aroma, both sweet and earthy, rises from the disturbed flowers and the collected strands, a complex fragrance that speaks of distant lands and ancient rituals. You continue this slow, deliberate process, gathering the threads one by one, your movements unhurried, your focus absolute. The quiet accumulation of these precious strands in the obsidian bowl is a silent meditation, a promise of color and depth for the royal blend awaiting your touch. The delicate, sweet earthy aroma of the saffron, now collected in the obsidian bowl, still lingers on your fingertips as you rise from the garden bed, leaving the cool, damp flagstones and the gentle burble of the fountain behind. You carry the small, dark bowl with careful reverence, its smooth, cool weight a grounding presence in your palm. The morning sun, now a little higher, warms your back as you step from the verdant tranquility of the herb garden through a shaded, narrow passage and into the hushed quiet of your personal study. The air here is noticeably drier, infused with the faint, comforting scent of aged cedarwood and the subtle mineral tang of ancient papyrus scrolls stored in tall, lidded chests. The light in the study is softer, more diffused than the garden's open brightness, filtering through high, narrow windows covered with fine linen screens, casting long, gentle stripes across the polished, dark wood floor. You walk across the familiar floor, its smooth, cool surface, a consistent touch beneath your bare feet, towards the heavy, dark ebony writing desk that dominates the center of the room. You place the obsidian bowl of saffron threads carefully on a small, intricately carved stand beside the desk, its dark beauty a perfect complement to the gleaming wood. The tiny, vibrant threads catch the soft light, their rich color a silent promise. You then settle onto a low, wide cedarwood stool, its seat cushioned with a tightly woven linen pad, feeling the subtle give of the natural fibers beneath you. The wood of the stool is smooth and cool, a testament to years of careful polishing. Before you, on the polished ebony surface, rests a stack of freshly prepared clay tablets. They are still slightly damp, a pale uniform gray, meticulously smoothed and cut into precise rectangular forms. You reach out, your fingertips brushing the top tablet, feeling its cool, yielding surface. a delicate moisture transferring to your skin. It feels dense, yet supple, ready to receive the ancient script. You carefully lift one, noting its satisfying weight, and place it directly in front of you, aligning it perfectly with the edge of the desk. Next, your hand glides across the desk to a small, lidded box carved from bone, its surface cool and smooth to the touch. You lift the lid, revealing a collection of styluses, each one crafted from a different material, reed, bone, or bronze. You select a slender reed stylus, its tip cut to a precise, sharp wedge, feeling its light, balanced weight in your hand. The natural texture of the dried reed is subtly rough, yet comfortable, a familiar tool for an ancient craft. You hold the stylus poised above the fresh clay, its tip almost touching the smooth, damp surface. The air in the study is still, save for the faintest whisper of a distant breeze through the garden screens. You take a slow, deliberate breath, and then, with a gentle, steady pressure, you press the wedge-shaped tip into the soft clay. A faint, almost imperceptible asterisk, SHHHK asterisk sound, accompanies the first impression as the stylus creates a clean, deep wedge. You then lift the stylus, reposition it, and press again, forming the first intricate cuneiform symbol, a precise, ancient mark emerging from the yielding earth. The cool, damp clay offers a subtle, satisfying resistance as the symbols slowly begin to form, a silent conversation with generations past. The soft, yielding resistance of the fresh clay tablet finally gives way beneath the precise tip of your reed stylus, the last wedge-shaped mark settling into its surface with a faint, satisfying asterisk, SHHHK. You lift your hand, allowing the stylus to rest gently beside the newly inscribed tablet, its damp, cool surface now covered with the intricate cuneiform symbols of an ancient perfumery recipe. The delicate, earthy scent of the moist clay still hangs subtly in the air around you, mingling with the faint aroma of aged cedarwood from the study. You rise slowly from the cedarwood stool, feeling the slight release of pressure from the linen cushion, and carefully carry the freshly inscribed tablet to a low, shaded drying rack, positioned near a high, screened window. The air current here is gentle, allowing the clay to dry evenly and slowly, preventing cracks. You place the tablet with utmost care onto the reed mat of the rack, feeling its cool, smooth weight settle into place. The light in the study, though diffused, now feels a little brighter, hinting at the advancing morning. Leaving the newly inscribed tablet to its slow drying, you turn towards a heavy, unadorned door at the far end of your study, a portal to a deeper quiet. This door leads to your private archive, a repository of ancient knowledge and aromatic secrets. You push it inward, with a gentle, deliberate motion, feeling the solid, cool wood yield, the faint, deep creak of its ancient hinges quickly fading into the hushed atmosphere beyond. The air that greets you is immediately different, cooler, drier, and imbued with a profound, almost sacred scent. Stepping across the threshold, you enter a space steeped in time. The archive is a long, vaulted chamber, its walls lined from floor to ceiling with meticulously crafted cedarwood shelves, each one groaning softly under the weight of countless clay tablets, papyrus scrolls, and tightly bound bundles of dried herbs. The light here is even more subdued, filtering through narrow slits high on the walls, creating long, deep shadows that soften the rows of ancient records into quiet, uniform blocks. The floor beneath your bare feet is the same polished dark wood as your study, cool and smooth, but here it feels even more silent, absorbing every sound. The dominant aroma is a complex tapestry of dry, earthy notes. The mineral tang of aged clay, the faint, sweet dustiness of ancient papyrus, and the sharper, more herbaceous scent of countless dried plants. You walk slowly between the tall shelves, your fingers tracing the smooth, cool edges of the cedarwood, a faint sound accompanying your touch as dust motes dance in the faint light. Your gaze scans the meticulously organized rows, searching for a specific historical text, perhaps a scroll detailing the uses of a rare spice or an unusual floral extraction method from distant lands. You pause before a section dedicated to ancient botanical remedies, reaching for a tightly rolled papyrus scroll, its surface a pale, brittle yellow-brown. As you gently pull it from its niche, a delicate cloud of fine, almost invisible dust rises, carrying with it a distinct, dry fragrance of dried chamomile and crushed coriander seeds. You unroll a small section of the scroll, feeling the rough, papery texture beneath your fingertips, hearing the soft, dry rustle as the layers separate. The faded ink of the cuneiform script, painstakingly applied centuries ago, is barely visible in the dim light, a silent whisper of ancient wisdom. The subtle scent of the papyrus and the faint aroma of the dried herbs from within the bundles on the nearby shelves create a grounding, tranquil atmosphere around you. The subtle scent of aged papyrus and dried herbs gradually recedes as you step from the archive's cool, dry air, leaving behind the silent wisdom of ancient scrolls. You pass through the study, its cedarwood scent now faint, and move into a different chamber of your perfumery, where a gentle, warm aroma of heated oil now greets you. This is the infusion room, a space dedicated to the slow, patient extraction of botanical essences. The air here is noticeably softer, imbued with a subtle humidity that carries the delicate fragrance of blossoms and warm, viscous liquids. The room is filled with a soft, diffused light, filtering through high alabaster screens that soften the harshness of the mid-morning sun, casting a milky glow over the various vessels. Along one long wall, a series of low, polished limestone hearths hold wide, shallow bronze bowls, each one gently warmed by carefully controlled embers beneath. The floor beneath your bare feet is a cool, smooth basalt, providing a grounding contrast to the gentle warmth emanating from the hearths. The rhythmic, almost imperceptible drip-drip of water from a small, ornate copper still in the corner provides a delicate, liquid counterpoint to the quiet atmosphere. You approach one of the hearths, where a large, wide-mouthed ceramic jar, its unglazed surface, a warm, earthy red, rests securely in the bronze bowl. Within it, a clear, golden olive oil shimmers, its surface barely disturbed by the gentle heat. Submerged in the oil are countless pale pink lotus petals, their delicate forms now softened and translucent, slowly releasing their exquisite perfume into the warm liquid. The sight is one of quiet transformation, a patient alchemy unfolding before your eyes. An attendant, her movements as fluid and silent as a wisp of smoke, kneels beside the jar, her face serene with concentrated focus. In her hand, she holds a slender, polished obsidian stirring rod, its dark, smooth surface reflecting the golden oil. With a slow, deliberate motion, she begins to stir the infusion, the obsidian rod gliding through the warm oil with a soft, almost hushed swish, swish, swish. The lotus petals gently swirl and tumble, releasing tiny, almost invisible bubbles that rise to the surface, carrying with them the intensified aroma. As she stirs, The delicate, sweet fragrance of the lotus rises, mingling with the rich, slightly earthy scent of the warm olive oil. It is a clean, aquatic sweetness, with a subtle hint of green, a perfume of serene elegance. You lean slightly closer, inhaling slowly, allowing the warm, fragrant vapor to fill your senses, a profound calm settling within you. The oil itself seems to thicken almost imperceptibly with each slow turn of the rod, becoming richer, more deeply infused. The attendant continues her rhythmic stirring, her gaze fixed on the quiet dance of the petals within the golden liquid. Her breathing is even, a soft, almost inaudible presence in the warm air. You notice the tiny, individual veins on the lotus petals, still faintly visible through the translucent oil, each one a testament to the flower's delicate structure. The air around the hearth grows heavy with the sweet, tranquil essence, a silent promise of the queen's evening anointing, a luxurious balm for her skin and spirit. The warm, sweet aroma of the lotus-infused oil slowly begins to recede as you turn from the active hearth, leaving the gentle, rhythmic swish-swish of the stirring rod behind you in the infusion room. Your bare feet carry you across the cool, smooth basalt floor, through a low, arched doorway, its ancient stone cool against your shoulder, and into a cooler, quieter antechamber, a space dedicated to the palace's ceremonial artifacts and precious ritual tools. The air here is noticeably drier and still, carrying only the faintest, almost imperceptible whisper of aged cedarwood and polished metals. Long, tall, dark cedarwood cabinets line the walls from floor to ceiling, their surfaces gleaming with a deep, rich polish that reflects the soft, muted light filtering from a high, narrow, alabaster window. Each cabinet stands as a silent guardian of precious objects, waiting patiently for their specific moment of ritual use. The quietness of the room feels profound, a gentle hush that invites contemplation. You approach one of the central cabinets, its double doors meticulously carved with ancient, stylized images of winged lions, guardians of the palace, and sacred palm trees, symbols of life and abundance. Your fingers trace the cool, smooth surface of the heavy, dark bronze handle, feeling the subtle indentations and raised patterns of its intricate, time-worn design. With a gentle, deliberate pull, the doors swing open with a soft, almost imperceptible whoosh of displaced, dry air, revealing the carefully preserved treasures within. Inside, on wide, dark cedarwood shelves, an array of ceremonial censers rests, each one meticulously draped in fine, undyed silk cloths. The silk, a creamy pale ivory, lies softly and elegantly over the forms of the censers, concealing their intricate details while hinting at their inherent beauty and purpose. A faint, almost imperceptible scent of dried incense, a delicate ghost of countless past rituals, lingers within the enclosed space, a subtle invitation to memory and reverence. You reach for a specific censer on the middle shelf, its elegant, rounded form suggested by the gentle, yielding drape of the silk. Your fingertips brush against the cool, exquisitely smooth fabric, feeling its incomparable fineness, a luxurious whisper against your skin. With a slow, careful motion, you grasp a corner of the silk, lifting it just enough to break its gentle cling, allowing it to fall back with a soft, delicate rustle, a sound like dry leaves, revealing a gleam of polished, ancient silver underneath. The censer, crafted from meticulously hammered silver, gleams with a soft, diffused light, its surface intricately embossed with tiny, repeating patterns of stylized rosettes and flowing rivulets of water, symbols of purity and fertility. Its delicate chain, also of finely wrought silver, hangs gracefully, making no sound as you lift the censer from its resting place. You feel its surprising lightness, the cool, smooth metal, a familiar and comforting weight in your hand, perfectly balanced. The craftsmanship is truly exquisite, each tiny detail, speaking of generations of dedicated artistry, a vessel designed not just for function, but for profound devotion and subtle beauty. You run a finger along one of the raised silver patterns, feeling the cool, slightly rough texture of the ancient metal. You hold the censer for a moment longer, appreciating its cool elegance, and the silent story etched into its surface, its subtle presence, a quiet promise for the evening's solemn palace ritual. The fine silk, now gently disturbed, settles back into its soft, undulating folds, patiently awaiting its next ceremonial use, a tranquil moment of anticipation. The cool, light weight of the silver censer still rests in your palm as you gently close the heavy cedarwood doors of the antechamber, the soft though barely disturbing the profound silence within. The lingering, almost imperceptible scent of dried incense from the stored ceremonial objects fades as you step away. You carry the censer with a quiet grace, its polished surface gleaming softly in the mid-morning light, and traverse a short, sun-dappled passage, the basalt tiles cool and smooth beneath your bare feet, leading you away from the inner sanctum of the palace wing. This path soon opens into a wider, enclosed courtyard, a tranquil space bathed in a softer, more diffused light. Here, the air is noticeably fresher, carrying the faint, clean scent of damp earth and distant, blooming oleander. Along one side of the courtyard, deeply set into the cool, limestone wall, is a shaded alcove, its entrance draped with heavy, intricately woven linen curtains in muted shades of ochre and deep terracotta. These hang still and heavy, offering a cool respite from the growing warmth of the sun outside. You approach the alcove, the polished silver censer, a cool presence in your hand. Gently, you push aside one of the thick linen curtains, feeling its coarse, yet soft, weave brush against your arm with a faint, dry swish. The air inside the alcove is immediately cooler, a pocket of refreshing shade, still and calm. You step inside, allowing the curtain to fall back into place with a soft, muffled plump, sealing you within this private sanctuary. Within the alcove, a low, wide bench carved from a single piece of dark, polished cypress wood is built into the wall, its surface smooth and cool. You carefully place the silver censer onto a small, round bronze tray situated on the bench, its delicate chain settling with a barely audible tinkle against the metal. The censer rests quietly, awaiting its evening purpose. You then settle onto the cypress bench, feeling the cool, unyielding wood against your legs and back, a firm, grounding support. The true gift of this alcove, however, is not just its coolness, but its sound. From this specific vantage point, perfectly framed by the heavy curtains and the ancient stone, you can hear the distant, continuous murmur of the main palace fountain. It is a soft, rhythmic sound, filtered by distance and architecture, arriving as a delicate, liquid whisper. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the faint, consistent cark of the water to wash over you, a gentle cascade that seems to ebb and flow with your own slow breathing. It is not a rush of water, but a subtle, constant presence, a soft plink as a droplet falls, followed by the sustained, almost hypnotic hush of the larger flow. The sound is so distant, so muted, that it requires a quiet stillness to truly appreciate, a delicate symphony of water on stone, a peaceful, natural rhythm that invites a profound sense of calm. You feel the subtle coolness of the cypress wood beneath you, a gentle anchor in this moment of tranquil observation. The faint, sweet scent of oleander drifts in on the gentlest current of air, a soft, floral counterpoint to the liquid murmur. The world beyond the alcove feels distant, a soft, indistinct hum, while here, the water's quiet song fills your awareness, a profound and simple peace, the continuous, liquid whisper of the distant palace fountain still envelops you within the cool, shaded alcove, a soft, constant presence. The sun, having climbed higher, now casts a brighter, warmer glow just beyond the heavy linen curtains, hinting at the increasing heat of the mid-morning. A subtle shift in the air, a faint, almost imperceptible rustle from beyond the heavy linen curtain, signals an approaching presence. With the utmost discretion, an attendant parts the thick fabric, her movements fluid and silent, revealing a glimpse of the sun-dappled courtyard outside. She carries a polished, dark terracotta pitcher, its surface cool and smooth, and a small fluted alabaster cup, translucent and delicate in her hand. The soft clink of the cup against the pitcher's rim is barely audible, a gentle punctuation in the quiet. She approaches the cypress bench where you sit, extending the alabaster cup with a graceful, unhurried gesture. The cup feels cool and exquisitely smooth against your fingertips as you take it, its light weight a delicate balance. A faint moisture from the freshly poured liquid clings to its outer surface, a refreshing coolness against your skin. You raise the cup slowly, bringing it towards your lips. The liquid inside, clear and pale, shimmers gently. As it nears, a delicate, complex aroma rises, a cool, clean scent of fresh water, subtly interwoven with hints of dried mint, a whisper of ginger, and the faintest, sweet warmth of cardamom. You take a small, hesitant sip, feeling the immediate coolness spread across your tongue, a refreshing clarity that soothes and awakens the senses. The water is cool, almost cold, a welcome sensation in the growing warmth of the day. You allow a small amount to linger on your palate, discerning the subtle layers of flavor, the crisp brightness of the mint, followed by the gentle, invigorating warmth of the ginger, and finally, the soft, sweet earthiness of the cardamom. It is a perfectly balanced infusion, designed not to overpower, but to gently refresh and revitalize. You take another slow, deliberate sip, feeling the cool liquid glide smoothly down your throat, a profound sense of hydration settling within you. The delicate spices leave a clean, lingering taste, a subtle warmth that contrasts with the water's initial coolness. You pause, holding the alabaster cup in your hands, its coolness, a grounding presence. Through the slight gap where the linen curtain now rests, you notice the bright, clear Babylonian sun illuminating the ancient stones of the courtyard. The warmth emanating from the sun-baked flagstones is almost visible, a gentle shimmer in the air, a silent testament to the enduring power of the day. You can almost feel the heat radiating from the polished basalt, even from within your cool, shaded retreat. The contrast between the cool liquid in your mouth and the imagined warmth outside creates a quiet harmony, a perfect balance in this moment of restful observation. You lower the cup, its cool surface still a comfort in your hand, and simply rest, The distant murmur of the fountain continues its gentle song, a steady liquid rhythm that deepens the quiet. The subtle, spiced aftertaste lingers, a soft, pleasant memory on your tongue, inviting a slow, peaceful drift. The cool, spiced water's lingering taste fades gently on your tongue as you rise from the cypress bench, leaving the faint murmur of the distant fountain behind in the quiet alcove. You step back into the courtyard, where the mid-morning sun now casts a warmer, more direct light across the ancient flagstones, feeling the subtle shift in temperature against your bare skin. The air carries a clean freshness, a gentle breeze rustling the distant palm fronds with a soft, dry, courtesy. You traverse the sun-dappled courtyard, the polished basalt tiles warm beneath your feet, absorbing the gentle heat that radiates from the surrounding stone walls. The silver censer, now resting on its bronze tray in the alcove, awaits its later purpose. Your steps lead you back towards the perfumery, through another low, cool archway, its ancient stone cool against your shoulder as you pass. The mingled scents of resins and dried herbs from within the perfumery's main chamber become more pronounced with each step, a familiar and comforting aromatic embrace. Passing through the main perfumery, where the heavy ebony workbench stands laden with prepared ingredients, you continue towards a separate, smaller alcove built into the far wall. This is a dedicated space for distillation, where the most delicate essences are coaxed from their botanical forms. The air here is subtly warmer, carrying a faint, sweet, and distinctly floral steam. The light is diffused, softened by the steam that gently rises, creating a soft, hazy glow. In the center of this alcove, a meticulously crafted copper still gleams with a deep, burnished luster, its surfaces polished to a mirror-like sheen. It rests on a low, broad stone plinth, its rounded belly gently warmed by a carefully controlled charcoal brazier beneath. A faint, low hiss emanates from the still's heated base, a soft, steady sound of gentle transformation. The copper itself feels warm to the touch, radiating a comforting, even heat. You approach the still, your gaze drawn to its intricate design. Steam rises from the main chamber, condensing in the coiled arm that leads to a delicate spout. From this slender copper spout, a single clear drop of rosewater hangs suspended, shimmering like a tiny perfect jewel in the diffused light. You watch it, mesmerized by its delicate balance, feeling the quiet anticipation. With a soft, almost imperceptible plink, the single drop detaches, falling cleanly into a small, fluted alabaster collection vessel positioned directly beneath the spout. The sound is delicate, clear, and resonant, a tiny bell-like chime that echoes briefly in the quiet space. Another drop immediately begins to form, slowly swelling, gaining form and weight, its surface catching the soft light. The air around the still is now profoundly scented with the pure, exquisite essence of rose. It is a delicate, sweet, and utterly clean aroma, devoid of any harshness, a concentrated whisper of 1,000 petals. You inhale slowly, allowing the gentle, fragrant steam to fill your lungs, feeling its soothing warmth. The rhythmic plink, plink, plink of the rosewater drops continues, a steady, hypnotic cadence, each drop a tiny, precious distillation of beauty and calm. The polished copper reflects the gentle light, a warm, soft glow in the tranquil room. The slow, precise accumulation of the precious liquid is a silent meditation, a testament to patience. The rhythmic plink-plank badash plink of the rosewater still fades gently behind you as you move further into the perfumery's specialized wing, leaving the pure, sweet aroma of distilled roses to linger in the air. You pass through a low, narrow archway, its ancient stone cool against your shoulder, and step into a smaller, more secluded laboratory, a chamber designed for the meticulous extraction of potent essential oils. The air here is warmer, denser, filled with a complex, earthy fragrance, a deep, resinous scent hinting at hidden power. The room is dimly lit, the only light filtering through high, narrow vents near the vaulted ceiling, casting long, soft shadows that stretch across the polished, dark basalt floor. Your bare feet find the familiar, cool, smooth surface, each step a quiet glide. Along one wall, a series of small, precisely crafted ceramic retorts rest on individual, low bronze stands, each one gently warmed by a minuscule, glowing ember hidden beneath. These are not for water, but for the precious, concentrated oils. You approach a particular retort, its smooth, dark ceramic surface radiating a subtle, even warmth. Within its rounded belly, a viscous, golden liquid shimmers faintly, its surface barely trembling. This is the precious cedarwood oil, undergoing its final, delicate purification. A fine, slender copper tube emerges from the retort's neck, coiling gently before descending into a small, stoppered alabaster vial, waiting to collect the purified essence. You lean closer, observing the delicate process. Beneath the golden liquid, a tiny, almost invisible bubble forms, clinging stubbornly to the curved ceramic base of the retort. It grows slowly, infinitesimally, a perfect sphere of trapped air, shimmering with the faintest hint of iridescence as it catches the diffused light. The sound is a barely audible, continuous hiss asterisk from the gentle heat source below, a soft, steady whisper of controlled warmth, a constant undertone to the quiet activity. Then, with a sudden, delicate release, the bubble detaches from the ceramic, beginning its slow, deliberate ascent through the thick, warm oil. It rises with an almost dreamlike slowness, its golden surface catching and bending the light, a tiny, luminous pearl moving through liquid amber. As it reaches the surface, it expands slightly, its delicate film stretching, before bursting with an almost silent, soft blip-dup, releasing a concentrated burst of warm, woody aroma. The scent is deep, grounding, a dry sweetness of ancient trees, settling gently into the humid air, a rich, comforting presence. Another bubble begins its slow formation, a patient, unhurried cycle of creation. The gentle hiss of the heat continues, a constant, soothing undertone, while the occasional soft blip of a bursting bubble punctuates the profound quiet of the laboratory. You stand, simply observing, allowing the subtle warmth on your skin and the deep, resinous scent to envelop you. A quiet immersion in the slow, precise dance of nature's essence. The steady, hypnotic rhythm of the rising and popping bubbles, each one a fleeting testament to the slow transformation, invites a profound and peaceful focus. The rhythmic hiss of the retort and the soft blip of purification in the specialized laboratory slowly diminish behind you as you step through a low, heavy archway. Its cool, rough stone, a grounding presence against your shoulder. The air around you immediately shifts, becoming cooler, drier, and infused with a potent, fresh aroma of raw wood and damp earth, a stark contrast to the refined essences you just observed. You find yourself in a spacious, high-ceilinged storeroom. its thick stone walls lined with deep, cool shadows, even as the mid-morning sun filters dimly through a series of high, narrow vents. Your bare feet glide across the uneven surface of the large, flat limestone flagstones that pave the floor, each stone worn smooth by countless heavy loads and generations of quiet footsteps. The room is vast, filled with an orderly arrangement of various raw materials, large, tightly bound bundles of dried palm fronds, tall amphora filled with aromatic resins, and, along the far wall, an impressive stack of newly arrived cedarwood. The sheer volume of material speaks of the palace's wealth and its far-reaching trade routes, a silent testament to the distant lands from which these treasures have journeyed. You walk deliberately towards the towering stack of cedarwood, feeling the cool, dry air brush against your skin. The wood is unworked, rough-hewn logs and thick planks. Their surfaces a rich, varied palette of reddish browns, deep ochres, and pale, creamy sapwood. Some pieces still bear faint traces of bark, its rough, fibrous texture, a memory of the ancient trees from which they were cut. The air here is profoundly dense, with the unmistakable, sharp, yet profoundly comforting scent of fresh cedarwood, a powerful, resinous aroma that seems to cleanse the very air, carrying hints of deep forest and ancient earth. An attendant, a man with strong, capable hands and a quiet, focused demeanor, is already at work near the stack. He moves with a slow, practiced rhythm, carefully unbinding a bundle of smaller cedar planks, the soft creak and groan of the ropes as they loosen a subtle sound in the large room. He then selects a thick, newly cut plank, its edges still slightly rough, and lays it gently onto a low, wide trestle table made of sturdy oak. The plank settles with a soft, solid thump against the worn wood, a resonant sound that quickly fades into the ambient quiet. He then takes a small, bronze-tipped tool from a leather pouch at his waist, its metal gleaming softly. With precise, unhurried movements, he begins to carve a series of shallow, almost imperceptible marks into the end grain of the cedar plank, a system of inventory and origin. The sound is a delicate, continuous asterisk, SHHHK, SHHK, SHHK, grain, grain, a gentle scraping of bronze against wood, releasing a fresh, sharp burst of cedar aroma with each stroke. You watch his hands, strong and steady, as he meticulously records the details, his focused attention, a quiet dedication to the precious material. You reach out, your fingertips brushing against the rough, splintered edge of one of the newly cut cedar planks still in the main stack. The wood feels dry and firm, its fibers cool and unyielding. A tiny, almost invisible fleck of golden brown resin adheres to your skin, its stickiness, a subtle reminder of the living tree. You bring your hand closer, inhaling the strong, clean scent of the raw wood, a deep, earthy sweetness that speaks of strength and longevity. The faint asterisk, SHHHK, Befudesico, to Riesregeling, Tudwul, Witzkines. The promencaling of the attendant's carving continues, a steady, soothing rhythm in the quiet, cool storeroom, a gentle promise of future purpose for these ancient timbers. The powerful resinous aroma of fresh cedarwood from the newly arrived planks slowly begins to recede behind you as you move deeper into the palace's vast storeroom. The steady, quiet asterisk, SHHHK, SHHHK, SHHK asterisk of the attendant's carving tool grows fainter with each step, a comforting rhythm that softens into the background. Your bare feet continue to glide across the cool, uneven limestone flagstones, their surfaces worn smooth by generations of quiet passage. The air here, in this deeper section of the storeroom, is cooler, more hushed, and carries a subtle, profound depth of scent unlike any other. You approach a section of the wall that is less adorned, guarded by a heavy, unyielding door crafted from thick, iron-bound oak. This is not merely a storeroom, but a secure vault, reserved for the most precious and rare ingredients, those that journey from the furthest reaches of the known world. You reach for the massive, dark iron ring handle, feeling its cold, heavy weight in your hand, its surface roughened by the passage of time. With a slow, deliberate pull, the heavy door swings inward, revealing an even deeper, cooler darkness within, accompanied by a low, resonant groan of ancient hinges that quickly dampens in the thick air. Stepping across the threshold, you enter a small, square chamber, its walls and floor constructed of solid, dark basalt, providing an inherent coolness and an almost perfect silence. The only light comes from a single, small oil lamp, its flame burning steadily on a high, recessed shelf, casting a soft, golden glow that barely penetrates the profound shadows clinging to the corners. The air here is immediately distinct, thick with a complex, almost otherworldly fragrance. A deep, musky sweetness, subtly marine, with hints of ancient earth and a profound animal warmth. This is the scent of ambergris, a treasure from the ocean's depths. Along one wall, a series of heavy, lidded alabaster chests rests on low, polished, obsidian plinths. Each chest is sealed with beeswax, preserving its precious contents from the elements. You walk towards the largest of these, its smooth, pale surface cool and unyielding beneath your fingertips as you trace its intricate, carved patterns. You find the small, carefully etched cuneiform symbol that marks it as containing the finest ambergris, recently arrived from distant shores. With deliberate care, you break the delicate seal of beeswax, feeling its slight resistance as your thumbnail presses into the soft, yielding material. A faint, dry snap accompanies the break, a tiny sound of unveiling. You then lift the heavy, fitted alabaster lid, feeling its cool, smooth weight in your hands, placing it gently on the basalt floor with a soft, muffled thud. The rich aroma of ambergris immediately intensifies, rising from the open chest in a profound, enveloping wave, a scent that is both utterly unique and deeply familiar to your senses. Within the chest, nestled on a bed of soft, dried papyrus reeds, rests a large, irregular lump of ambergris. Its color is a mottled gray, streaked with veins of darker brown and hints of a pale, almost silvery white, like ancient, fossilized wax. Your fingers reach out, slowly, toward the irregular lump, its surface catching the dim lamplight with a subtle, waxy sheen. The cool, dry air of the vault seems to hold its breath as your fingertips make contact, feeling a texture that is surprisingly light, almost waxy, yet firm, with a delicate, almost powdery resistance. You gently press a thumb into its surface, feeling a faint, subtle give. You bring a small portion closer to your nose, inhaling deeply. The initial burst of marine freshness, a scent of salt and ancient ocean, quickly mellows into a profound, musky sweetness, rich and complex, with underlying notes of dry hay and warm earth. It is a fragrance that is both raw and refined, a grounding presence that hints at luxurious depth, the profound, musky sweetness of ambergris. slowly fades behind you as you close the heavy, iron-bound oak door of the storage vault, its ancient hinges sighing softly in the deepening twilight. The cool, dense air of the inner chamber gives way to the slightly warmer, more open expanse of the main storeroom, where the last vestiges of daylight struggle to penetrate the high vents. Your bare feet glide over the familiar, cool limestone, carrying you away from the raw materials and towards the heart of your craft, where the day's final blend awaits in the soft, gathering dusk. You pass through the main perfumery, its ebony workbench now cleared and tidied, the air a gentle, lingering mix of all the day's essences, a memory of frankincense and lotus. The soft, golden glow of numerous oil lamps already illuminates the dedicated blending chamber, a smaller, more intimate space adjacent to your main workshop, designed for focused, quiet work. These lamps, crafted from polished bronze and delicate alabaster, stand on small carved cedarwood stands, their steady flames casting a warm, flickering light that dances across the cool, dark cedarwood walls, gently pushing back the encroaching shadows of the deepening twilight. Each flame burns with a quiet, unwavering intensity, a constant beacon, their subtle warmth radiating outwards. A comforting presence in the cooling air of the evening, the faint, almost imperceptible sizzle of the oil wicks is a delicate, continuous whisper in the stillness. You approach the long, polished ebony blending table, its surface now gleaming with a rich, inviting luster under the lamplight, reflecting the soft glow like a still pool. Arranged upon it are the meticulously prepared ingredients you gathered earlier today. The finely ground myrrh powder in its lidded alabaster jar, the delicate dried crimson rose petals, and translucent golden styrax tears in their small earthenware dishes, the vibrant saffron threads nestled in their obsidian bowl, and small, stoppered glass vials containing the newly infused lotus oil. The potent ambergris, now carefully measured into minute flakes, rests in a tiny, lidded gold box, its profound essence waiting patiently to be integrated. The air here is already rich, a complex tapestry of all these individual notes, subtly mingling and intertwining in the soft, warm lamplight, a silent preview of the final composition. You settle onto a low, cushioned stool, its natural linen fabric soft and yielding beneath you, absorbing the slight pressure of your weight. Your hands reach for a wide, shallow blending bowl, crafted from polished serpentine stone, its dark green surface cool and exquisitely smooth to the touch. The lamplight catches the subtle, almost imperceptible veins running through the serpentine, giving it a depth that seems to absorb and hold the golden glow. You gently lift the lidded alabaster jar of myrrh, feeling its cool, substantial weight, and slowly, with a careful, steady hand, tip a measured amount of the finely powdered resin into the serpentine bowl. The soft dry of the powder as it flows and settles is barely audible, a delicate, almost ethereal whisper in the quiet room, creating a small, reddish-brown mound in the center of the dark stone. Next, your fingers delicately reach for the tiny gold box, its surface cool and smooth. You carefully lift its lid, a small, precise click breaking the silence, and a concentrated wave of the deep, musky ambergris immediately rises. With a small, smooth ivory spatula, its narrow blade cool and firm, you delicately scrape a tiny, almost invisible fleck of the waxy substance from the gold box into the blending bowl, its presence a powerful, grounding anchor for the lighter notes. The spatula makes a faint, almost sticky scrape against the gold as it releases the precious ingredient. The profound, complex aroma of the nascent royal blend, with its deep myrrh and musky ambergris, still gently envelops the blending chamber, a rich promise lingering in the air. The soft, steady glow of the oil lamps casts long, warm shadows that stretch across the polished ebony table, illuminating the serpentine bowl and its precious contents with a quiet intensity. The Babylonian twilight has deepened further, pushing the last vestiges of natural light from the high vents, leaving the chamber bathed entirely in the golden, flickering embrace of the lamp flames. The palace outside, which once offered a distant hum, now seems to settle into a profound quietude, its sounds softening to an almost imperceptible whisper, a subtle shift in the surrounding stillness that indicates the approach of true night. You remain seated on your low, cushioned stool, feeling the familiar support of the linen fabric beneath you. Your hands, having completed the initial preparation for the royal perfume, now turn to a different, equally significant task: the creation of a calming night oil specifically for the king. This blend requires a different touch, a quieter intention, focusing on essences that soothe and invite repose. You reach for a separate, smaller collection of ingredients arrayed on a lower shelf of the ebony table, away from the more potent components of the royal blend. Your fingers first brush against a small, unglazed terracotta pot, its porous surface cool and slightly rough to the touch, containing dried lavender blossoms. The tiny gray-purple buds, brittle and fragrant, emit a soft, herbaceous, almost powdery scent as you gently stir them with a slender, polished bone scoop. The subtle shawness of the dry blossoms rustling together is a delicate, soothing sound. Sunus. You measure a small, precise amount of these calming flowers, allowing them to fall with a soft, dry pat into a fresh, smaller alabaster mixing bowl, its smooth, milky white surface cool and pristine. The gentle, clean aroma of lavender immediately begins to diffuse into the lamplit air, a calming counterpoint to the richer scents of the royal blend. Next, your hand glides to a tiny, dark glass vial, its surface smooth and cool, containing a precious oil distilled from chamomile flowers. This oil, a pale, almost invisible yellow, is known for its profound calming properties. You carefully unstopper the vial, feeling the slight resistance of the polished wooden plug and a delicate, sweet, apple-like aroma, herbaceous and gentle, rises to meet you. With a steady hand, you tilt the vial, allowing a single precious drop of the chamomile oil to form at its lip. It shimmers, catching the lamplight, before detaching and falling with an almost inaudible plink into the alabaster bowl, disappearing into the dry lavender. Another drop follows, then another, each one a tiny concentrated essence of tranquility, their descent a slow, deliberate cadence. You then reach for a small, shallow bronze dish containing finely shaved pieces of sandalwood. The wood is a pale, creamy yellow, almost white, its surface smooth and slightly waxy to the touch. It releases a deep, creamy, woody aroma, subtly sweet and profoundly grounding, an ancient scent of peace. You select a few thin shavings, feeling their delicate, almost brittle texture between your fingers, and carefully place them into the alabaster bowl. They settle softly onto the lavender and the now invisible drops of chamomile oil, adding a new layer of tranquil depth to the developing mixture. The combined scents begin to intertwine, creating a harmonious bouquet of gentle calm. Finally, you take up a slender, polished obsidian stirring rod, its dark, smooth surface cool and firm in your hand. With slow, deliberate movements, you begin to gently incorporate the elements within the alabaster bowl. The rich, calming aroma of the king's night oil, now carefully blended and poured into its small, lidded alabaster jar, settles gently in the perfumery's blending chamber. The soft, golden glow of the oil lamps which have illuminated your meticulous work now casts long, deep shadows that stretch across the polished ebony table, signaling the profound quietude of the advanced Babylonian night. You reach for the nearest lamp, its bronze cool beneath your fingertips, and with a slow, deliberate motion, you gently lower the small, dark bronze snuffer over the flickering wick. A faint, almost imperceptible sound accompanies the extinguishing flame, followed by a delicate wisp of warm, smoky air that quickly dissipates into the stillness. One by one, you extinguish the remaining lamps, each soft one deepening the quiet, until the chamber is bathed in a profound, almost complete darkness, save for the faint glow of the distant city through the high vents. Leaving the hushed perfumery behind, your bare feet glide across the familiar, cool, smooth basalt floor of the palace corridor. The air here is noticeably cooler, a welcome refreshment after the concentrated warmth of the blending chamber. The sounds of the palace have truly settled into a deep quietude, a hushed reverence for the sleeping hours. Your steps are light, almost silent as you move through the dimly lit passages, guided by the faint starlight that filters through occasional open archways. You pass the heavy cedarwood doors of sleeping chambers, each one a silent guardian of slumber, feeling the subtle shifts in air temperature as you navigate the familiar labyrinth. Your path leads you to a narrow, winding spiral staircase, carved from solid, cool limestone. Its steps worn smooth by centuries of ascent and descent. You place your hand on the cool, rough surface of the inner wall as you begin to climb, feeling the subtle resistance of the ancient stone against your palm. Each step is a slow, deliberate movement, your bare feet finding the familiar indentations worn into the stone. The only sound is the soft, rhythmic tap, tap, tap of your own light footsteps, echoing faintly in the enclosed spiral, a gentle, hypnotic cadence that accompanies your upward journey. The air grows steadily cooler, thinner as you ascend, a subtle transition from the enclosed palace to the open sky. Finally, you emerge from the top of the staircase, stepping through a low, arched opening onto the expansive, flat surface of your private palace rooftop terrace. The immediate sensation is the embrace of the cool evening breeze, a soft, dry current of air that brushes gently against your bare skin, raising tiny, almost imperceptible goosebumps. It carries with it the clean, earthy scent of distant desert, mingled with the faint, sweet perfume of night-blooming jasmine from the hanging gardens far below. The air feels vast, open and utterly refreshing after the enclosed spaces of the palace. You walk towards the low, intricately carved limestone parapet that borders the terrace, its cool, smooth surface, a grounding presence beneath your fingertips. The stone, which absorbed the sun's heat all day, now radiates a gentle, residual warmth, a subtle comfort against the coolness of the breeze. You lean slightly, gazing out over the sprawling, sleeping city of Babylon, spread out beneath the vast, dark expanse of the night sky. Thousands of tiny oil lamps twinkle like scattered jewels across the cityscape, each one a solitary point of light in the profound darkness, creating a breathtaking, silent panorama. The distant, muted hum of the sleeping metropolis, a soft, almost imperceptible whisper, rises to meet you, a gentle lullaby of human activity. Above, the sky is a deep, velvety indigo, almost black, studded with countless, brilliant stars that glitter with an astonishing clarity, far removed from the city's faint glow. The cool evening breeze, a familiar companion, still whispers across your skin on the palace rooftop terrace, carrying the faintest, sweet memory of night-blooming jasmine from the unseen gardens below. You remain by the low, carved limestone parapet, its surface now completely cool to the touch, having surrendered the day's warmth to the deepening night. The vast, dark expanse of the Babylonian sky stretches above, a profound velvet canvas studded with an astonishing brilliance of stars. You lift your gaze from the distant, shimmering tapestry of city lights, allowing your eyes to adjust fully to the profound darkness above. The crescent moon, a slender, luminous arc, now hangs higher in the western sky, casting a pale, ethereal silver light that subtly outlines the massive, silent forms of the distant ziggurats, their ancient brickwork absorbing the soft glow. Each star, a tiny, sharp point of light, seems to hum with an ancient, silent energy, countless diamonds scattered across the deepest indigo. Your eyes begin to trace familiar patterns among the scattered brilliance, recognizing the ancient constellations that guide the shepherds and the navigators of the desert caravans. There is the great celestial bull, Gugalana, his horns arcing majestically across the zenith, his bright, unwavering stars, a silent testament to strength and guidance. You follow the imaginary lines, connecting one point of light to the next, feeling a quiet satisfaction in the recognition of these timeless figures. The air around you is perfectly still, save for the continuous soft caress of the breeze, a gentle breath against your cheek that carries the subtle, clean scent of distant desert earth. Below, the thousands of tiny oil lamps of Babylon continue their soft, unceasing shimmer, a gentle, golden haze that blurs at the edges, creating a luminous, indistinct boundary between the sleeping earth and the infinite sky. They are like fallen stars, mirroring the celestial expanse above, each tiny flame a silent breath from the slumbering city. The distant, muted hum of the metropolis, a pervasive, almost imperceptible whisper, rises to meet you, a continuous, low vibration that speaks of countless lives resting beneath the vast dome of night, a subtle counterpoint to the profound silence of the cosmos. You lean slightly against the cool, smooth limestone of the parapet, feeling its solid, grounding presence. The immensity of the night sky, with its glittering constellations, and the soft, distant glow of the sleeping city, creates a profound sense of perspective, a quiet reminder of your place within this ancient, enduring world. A single faint chirp from a night insect, somewhere far below in the palace gardens, punctuates the deep quiet, a delicate, almost fragile sound that quickly fades, leaving only the gentle hum and the soft breeze. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the coolness of the night air to settle over your eyelids, sensing the vastness without needing to see it. The faint, sweet aroma of jasmine, carried on the softest current, drifts past, a fleeting, delicate perfume that enhances the sense of peaceful solitude. The rhythmic, continuous whisper of the breeze against the ancient stones of the rooftop becomes a gentle lullaby, inviting a profound and quiet surrender to the quietude of the Babylonian night. The cool, vast embrace of the night air on the palace rooftop terrace slowly begins to recede as you turn from the silent panorama of stars and city lights. The gentle, continuous whisper of the evening breeze softens into a memory against your skin as you re-enter the narrow, winding spiral staircase. Its cool, smooth limestone steps a familiar descent into the heart of the sleeping palace. Each slow, deliberate step downwards is accompanied by the soft, rhythmic tap-tap-tap of your bare feet, echoing faintly in the enclosed space, a gentle cadence that guides you through the profound quiet of the deep night. The air grows subtly warmer, denser, with each turn of the ancient stone helix, a gradual return from the ethereal coolness of the open sky. You emerge from the base of the staircase into a dimly lit corridor, its polished basalt tiles cool and smooth beneath your feet. The palace is truly hushed now, the last distant sounds having faded into the deep, reverent quietude of the hours before dawn. A faint, almost imperceptible glow of pre-dawn light begins to filter through high, narrow vents, casting long, soft shadows that stretch across the ancient stone walls. Your steps are light, almost silent, as you move through the familiar passages, guided by instinct and habit towards a specific, secluded chamber. This chamber, tucked away in a quiet corner of the perfumery wing, is dedicated solely to the preparation of sacred incense for the morning temple rites. As you push open its heavy, unadorned cedarwood door with a gentle hand, feeling the solid resistance of the thick wood, a profound, earthy aroma greets you, a complex blend of ancient resins and dried, ceremonial herbs. The air within is still, cool and thick with these potent fragrances, a tangible presence that seems to settle around you. The chamber is subtly illuminated by a single tall bronze oil lamp, its flame burning steadily on a low, carved limestone pedestal in the center of the room. Its soft golden glow casts long, dancing shadows, highlighting the various vessels and tools arranged with meticulous order on a series of low, polished obsidian tables. The floor beneath your bare feet is a dark, smooth basalt, cool and unyielding, absorbing any sound. Two quiet attendants, their movements fluid and respectful, are already at work, their faces serene with focused concentration, their presence a mere whisper in the vast, still space. You approach one of the obsidian tables, where a low, wide basalt mortar rests, its inner surface worn smooth from centuries of grinding. One attendant, her hands moving with a slow, practiced rhythm, is carefully crushing dark, brittle pieces of rare frankincense resin with a heavy bronze pestle. The sound is a low, continuous relogue, a rhythmic friction of stone against resin, punctuated by the occasional soft crack as a more stubborn piece yields. A delicate cloud of fine, pale dust rises with each press of the pestle, suspended momentarily in the lamplit air, before slowly settling back into the mortar, coating the raw resin with a velvety layer. The sharp, clean, yet profoundly warm aroma of frankincense fills the immediate air, a purifying essence that speaks of ancient mountains and sacred spaces. You observe her meticulous work, noticing the tiny, almost invisible flecks of gold that shimmer within some of the frankincense pieces, evidence of their exceptional quality. The rhythmic grinding continues, a hypnotic, steady sound that deepens the quiet of the chamber. Your gaze then shifts to the second attendant, who kneels beside a small, intricately carved cedarwood chest. She carefully selects slender, dried sprigs of rare myrtle, their dark green leaves brittle and aromatic. With a small, sharp bronze knife, she meticulously shaves the dried leaves into fine, almost powdery flakes, allowing them to fall with a soft, dry house into a small, lidded alabaster jar. The profound, earthy fragrance of frankincense and the clean, herbaceous scent of myrtle, now finely prepared, still fills the incense chamber, clinging to the cool, still air. The rhythmic rigor of the basalt mortar and the soft and the bronze knife have finally ceased, leaving behind a deep quiet, punctuated only by the subtle sizzle of the single bronze oil lamp, its golden flame casting long, unwavering shadows that dance gently across the dark basalt floor. One attendant, with steady, unhurried hands, carefully transfers the finely ground frankincense powder from the large basalt mortar into a wide, shallow mixing bowl crafted from highly polished serpentine stone, its dark green surface cool and smooth to the touch. The pale reddish-brown powder flows with a soft, dry niche, creating a small, fragrant dune in the center of the dark bowl. She then adds the meticulously shaved myrtle flakes from the alabaster jar, their darker green contrasting with the frankincense, allowing them to drift down with an almost imperceptible pat-pat. A fine, almost invisible dust rises, shimmering briefly in the lamplight, carrying the combined aroma of both ancient essences. She takes up a slender, polished bone spatula, its flat, smooth blade cool and firm, and begins to gently fold the powders together, a slow, continuous swish-swish sound as the dry particles intermingle, their distinct scents beginning to fuse into a single, complex perfume. From a small, lidded terracotta amphora, another attendant carefully pours a thick, golden liquid, a solution of rare honey and fragrant cedar resin, gently warmed to a viscous fluidity, into the center of the mixed powders. The liquid flows with a slow, deliberate glug-glug, its rich, sweet, and resinous aroma immediately mingling with the dry spices, subtly shifting the overall fragrance of the chamber. She uses a small, bronze stirring rod, its tip smooth and rounded, to slowly incorporate the binder into the fragrant powders. The mixture begins to transform, from dry and dusty to a cohesive, pliable paste, the rod moving with a soft, sticky squelch as it presses and folds the material. The texture becomes denser, more unified, clinging gently to the rod, reflecting the lamplight with a subtle, dark sheen. On a separate section of the obsidian table, a collection of ceremonial molds awaits. These are small, intricately carved forms made from polished bronze, each one depicting a sacred symbol, a tiny winged sun disk, a miniature palm tree, or a stylized lion's head. The molds are cool and smooth to the touch, their metallic surfaces gleaming softly in the lamplight. The attendant carefully wipes each mold with a small, soft linen cloth, removing any trace of dust or residue, her movements precise and unhurried. The faint, dry whisper of the linen against the cool bronze is a delicate, almost inaudible sound. She then lightly dusts the inner surfaces of each mold with a fine, neutral starch powder, a soft, almost invisible puff, ensuring the fragrant paste will release cleanly. With the fragrant paste now perfectly consistent, the first attendant takes a small, measured portion, rolling it gently between her palms to form a smooth, uniform ball. Her skin, slightly warmed from the friction, feels the soft, yielding resistance of the paste. She then carefully places the ball into the hollow of one of the bronze molds, aligning it perfectly. With a smaller, heavier bronze press, its base flat and smooth, she begins to apply slow, even pressure, pressing the fragrant paste firmly into the intricate details of the mold. The sound is a soft, continuous thump-squish-thump, a rhythmic compression of the material, a deep, satisfying sound that resonates subtly through the obsidian table. She maintains the pressure for a long, deliberate moment, ensuring every curve and line is perfectly captured. The profound, earthy fragrance of the sacred incense, pressed and formed hours ago for the morning temple rites, has long since faded from the air, a distant memory of pre-dawn work. Now, as the deep Babylonian twilight settles fully, a different, more domestic aroma gently guides you. The subtle, warm scent of baked grain and sweet dates drifts from your private dining nook, a comforting invitation after a long day of meticulous craft. The palace, which was once alive with the distant sounds of preparation, has now truly settled into its evening quietude, a gentle hush falling over its vast ancient stones. You move through the familiar, dimly lit corridors of your private wing, your bare feet gliding silently across the cool, smooth basalt tiles. The air, which held the crispness of dawn, is now soft and warm, carrying the lingering warmth of the day's sun from the thick stone walls. The only light comes from strategically placed oil lamps in recessed niches, their soft golden glow casting long, shifting shadows that dance gently across the carved stone reliefs. Each lamp flame burns with a quiet, unwavering intensity, their subtle warmth radiating outwards, a comforting presence in the cooling air. You reach the entrance to your private dining nook, a small, intimate alcove carved into the palace wall, sheltered from the main thoroughfares. A heavy linen curtain, woven in deep indigo and ochre, hangs loosely across the archway, muffling any outside sounds. You push it gently aside, feeling the coarse, soft weave brush against your arm with a faint, dry swish, and step into the welcoming warmth of the space. The air here is immediately richer, imbued with the sweet, yeasty scent of freshly baked bread, and the profound, sugary aroma of ripe dates. The nook is simply furnished, a low, dark ebony table, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich polish, surrounded by soft, cushioned floor mats of woven reed and linen. A single, exquisitely crafted bronze oil lamp rests on the table's center, its flame casting a steady, golden light that illuminates your simple, elegant meal. Arranged on a small, round platter of polished black obsidian are plump, dark dates, their skins wrinkled and glistening, and a small, round loaf of spiced bread, its crust a golden brown, dusted with a fine, aromatic powder. A simple, unglazed terracotta cup, its surface cool and earthy, sits beside the platter, filled with cool, clear water. You settle onto one of the soft, cushioned mats, feeling the gentle give of the layered fabric beneath you, a comforting embrace after the day's tasks. The cool, smooth ebony of the table feels pleasant beneath your fingertips as you reach for a date. Its skin is slightly sticky, yielding gently as you pick it up, feeling its soft, plump weight. You bring it to your lips, the sweet, earthy aroma filling your senses before the first taste. As you bite into the date, the thin skin breaks with a delicate, almost imperceptible treacherpop, revealing the soft, honeyed flesh within. Its intense sweetness spreads slowly across your tongue, a profound, natural sugar that is deeply satisfying. You chew slowly, savoring the soft, yielding texture, feeling the subtle resistance of the small, smooth pit within, before you carefully set it aside on a small, clean leaf. Next, your hand reaches for a piece of the spiced bread. As you gently tear a small portion from the loaf, the crust gives way with a soft, dry crackle, revealing the warm, airy crumb within. A subtle, earthy aroma of baked grain and faint cinnamon rises, mingling with the lingering sweetness of the dates. You bring the bread to your nose, inhaling the comforting scent, then take a slow bite. The crust offers a delicate crunch, followed by the soft, yielding texture of the interior, subtly flavored with a delicate blend of warm, sweet spices. You chew slowly, allowing the complex flavors to unfold. The subtle warmth of the bread, a gentle comfort in your mouth. The lingering sweetness of dates and the warm, spiced notes of bread slowly fade from your palate as you rise from the soft, cushioned mat in your private dining nook. The gentle glow of the single oil lamp still illuminates the dark ebony table, casting long, soft shadows. But your attention is drawn to a subtle, deeper warmth emanating from a nearby passage, carrying with it a new, comforting aroma. You push aside the heavy linen curtain once more, the soft swish of its thick fabric, a familiar sound, and step into the hushed corridor. The palace is now truly settled into the profound quietude of the deep night, the ambient sounds reduced to an almost imperceptible whisper, a gentle, pervasive stillness. Your bare feet find the familiar, cool, smooth basalt tiles of the corridor, but soon transition to a slightly different surface as you turn down a short, narrow passage. Here, the floor is paved with larger, unpolished terracotta tiles, their surfaces a warm, earthy red and subtly rougher beneath your soles, a grounding contrast to the smoother stone. With each deliberate step, you feel the air growing imperceptibly warmer, a gentle, radiating heat that permeates the thick stone walls of this particular section of the palace. The light here is even softer, filtering from a distant recessed oil lamp, casting a muted, golden glow that barely penetrates the deep shadows clinging to the corners of the passage. A low, wide archway, its ancient weathered stone cool against your shoulder as you pass beneath, opens into your small, private kitchen. The air that greets you is immediately rich, dense with a profound, comforting aroma. It is the warm, earthy scent of baked clay, subtly mingled with the lingering, savory notes of dried herbs and a faint, sweet hint of roasted grains. It speaks of recent activity, of slow, patient cooking, now settled into a deep, comforting afterglow. The kitchen, though functional, is meticulously clean, its surfaces of smooth limestone and dark cypress wood gleaming softly in the dim, warm light. Along one wall, a massive, domed clay oven, built directly into the thick stone, still radiates a gentle, pervasive heat. Its outer surface, a deep, earthy terracotta, feels warm and smooth to the touch as you instinctively reach out a hand, feeling the residual warmth against your palm, a comforting presence in the cool night. The faint, almost imperceptible tick-tock of cooling clay, a soft, delicate sound of contraction, emanates from its depths, a quiet symphony of natural cooling. You lean slightly closer, inhaling the profound, comforting aroma of the baked clay, a scent that is both ancient and deeply domestic, grounding and nourishing. On a low, polished cypress wood counter, a collection of terracotta storage jars stands in neat rows, their lidded forms cool and smooth. One jar, its lid slightly ajar, releases a subtle herbaceous scent of dried thyme and crushed bay leaves, a delicate whisper of the garden's bounty, carefully preserved. You reach out, your fingertips brushing the cool, rough surface of the jar, feeling the delicate texture of the unglazed clay. The lid, when you gently lift it a little further, scrapes with a faint, dry *SHHHK, docks, intensifying the aromatic release. You take a slow, deep breath, allowing the clean, earthy fragrance of the dried herbs to fill your senses, a refreshing contrast to the deeper warmth of the baked clay. Your gaze drifts to a large, wide, unglazed clay bowl resting on a nearby wooden table, its inner surface still slightly warm. Within it, a few stray crumbs of spiced bread, identical to the one you just enjoyed, lie scattered, their golden brown color catching the faint lamplight. The bowl itself, porous and earthy, still holds the faint, sweet, yeasty aroma of the freshly baked loaf, a comforting memory of its warmth and flavor. The comforting warmth of baked clay and dried herbs from your small kitchen slowly recedes behind you as you step back into the cool, silent corridor. The profound quietude of the deep Babylonian night still envelops the palace, the distant sounds of the city entirely absent, replaced by an encompassing stillness. Your bare feet glide across the cool, smooth basalt tiles, each step a soft, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient stone. The faint, golden glow of a single oil lamp, recessed in a niche further down the passage, casts long, dancing shadows that stretch and sway gently across the carved stone reliefs, guiding your path. The air here is now distinctly cooler, carrying only the faintest clean scent of polished stone and ancient cedar. You turn down a familiar passage, its walls lined with tall, slender cypresswood cabinets, their dark surfaces gleaming with a deep, rich polish. This is the entrance to your private anointing chamber, a space where the finished perfumes are stored, awaiting their royal recipients. You push open a heavy cedarwood door, its surface smooth and cool to the touch, feeling the solid resistance of the thick wood. The faint, deep creak of its well-oiled hinges is barely audible, quickly fading into the even deeper quiet within. Stepping across the threshold, you enter a chamber of subdued light and delicate fragrances. The air is immediately imbued with a complex, ethereal aroma, a soft, sweet blend of lotus, rose, frankincense, and a hint of musk, the ghost of countless exquisite perfumes. The room is illuminated by several small bronze oil lamps, their flames burning steadily within delicate alabaster shades, casting a warm, milky glow that softens the edges of the room. The floor beneath your bare feet is a dark, smooth basalt, cool and unyielding, absorbing every sound. Along one wall, a series of low, polished ebony shelves displays your collection of finished perfume bottles, each one a miniature work of art. You walk towards the shelves, your gaze drifting over the array of delicate vessels. Most are crafted from translucent alabaster, their milky white surfaces catching the soft lamplight with an inner luminescence. Some are slender and tall, others squat and rounded, each unique in its carving and form. Your fingers reach out, hovering over a particular bottle, its shape a graceful amphora, stoppered with a tiny, perfectly fitted piece of polished dark obsidian. You select it, feeling its cool, smooth surface, the delicate weight, a familiar presence in your palm. The alabaster feels exquisitely fine, its subtle translucence hinting at the precious liquid it once held. You gently unstopper the bottle, feeling the slight suction as the obsidian plug separates from the alabaster neck with a soft, almost imperceptible frix-bop, releasing a faint, sweet whisper of lotus and rose. You place the unstoppered bottle gently on a small, round cedarwood table beside a low, cushioned stool. From a nearby carved ebony box, you retrieve a square of finely woven, undyed linen cloth, its texture soft and dry, a delicate whisper against your fingertips as you unfold it. You then reach for a tiny lidded bronze pot, its surface cool and smooth, containing a special polishing paste made from finely ground pumice and fragrant rose oil. You unlide the pot, a soft clink of metal against metal, and a delicate sweet scent of rose rises, mingling with the lingering perfume from the bottle. With a small, smooth ivory spatula, its narrow blade cool and firm, you delicately scoop a minuscule amount of the paste, a creamy, pale white, and transfer it to the linen cloth. You take the alabaster bottle back into your hand, feeling its cool, smooth weight. With the linen cloth now holding the polishing paste, you begin to gently rub the surface of the bottle. The motion is slow, circular, deliberate, a repetitive, meditative gesture. The soft rhythmic of the fine linen cloth against the delicate alabaster bottle finally ceases, leaving the cool, smooth stone gleaming with a profound, almost luminous sheen under the soft, milky glow of the oil lamps. You run your thumb over its polished surface one last time, feeling its exquisite smoothness, a testament to meticulous care. The faint, sweet scent of rose from the polishing paste still lingers on your fingertips, mingling subtly with the ghost of lotus and frankincense that perpetually scents this anointing chamber. The palace outside remains steeped in the deep quietude of the Babylonian night, its sounds reduced to an almost imperceptible whisper, a pervasive stillness that allows for such focused, patient work. You gently replace the now gleaming alabaster bottle onto its designated spot on the low, polished ebony shelf, aligning it perfectly among its companions. The cool, smooth stone settles with a barely audible click against the dark wood, a quiet punctuation to the completed task. The array of alabaster vessels, each one a miniature sculpture, catches the lamplight with a soft inner glow, creating a serene tableau of milky white against the dark wood. Your gaze then shifts to an adjacent section of the ebony shelf, where a different collection awaits your attention. Here, a series of ornate glass phials stands in neat, shimmering rows. These are not the translucent alabaster, but vessels of pure, clear glass, meticulously blown and shaped, each one holding a precious, colored oil, a vibrant essence distilled from rare botanicals. The inherent coolness of the dark ebony shelf provides a stark, elegant contrast to the delicate brilliance of the glass. As your hand reaches towards them, a faint, almost imperceptible clink of glass against glass echoes softly, a delicate crystalline sound in the quiet chamber. You select a slender, teardrop-shaped phial, its transparent glass catching the lamplight and refracting it into tiny, dancing points of golden light. Within, a rich, deep emerald green oil shimmers, thick and viscous, distilled from rare cypress cones. Its surface, undisturbed, holds a subtle, oily sheen. You feel the cool, smooth curve of the glass in your palm, its delicate weight, a familiar presence. As you gently unstopper the phial, a tiny, perfectly fitted stopper of polished bronze separating from the glass neck with a soft, almost imperceptible pop, a clean, sharp, woody aroma, reminiscent of deep forest and ancient earth, rises to greet you, a profound essence of green. With careful precision, you arrange the cypress oil phial into its designated space on the ebony shelf, ensuring it stands perfectly upright, its emerald green liquid catching the lamplight with a deep, jewel-like intensity. The gentle clink of the glass against its neighboring phials is delicate, a barely audible resonance that quickly fades. You then reach for another phial, this one broader and more rounded, filled with a warm golden amber oil distilled from sweet calamus root. Its aroma, as you unstopper it with another soft pop, is warm, earthy, and subtly sweet, with hints of cinnamon and spice, a comforting embrace. You place it beside the emerald phial, appreciating the harmonious contrast of their colors and forms, the interplay of light on the varied glass surfaces. Next, you select a tiny cylindrical phial, its glass almost invisible around the pale opalescent liquid it contains, a rare essence of white lily. This oil, delicate and ethereal, shimmers with a faint, silvery luminescence in the dim light. Its aroma, as you unstopper it, is a pure, clean, and profoundly sweet floral whisper, a delicate counterpoint to the deeper woody and spicy notes. You arrange it carefully, its subtle glow adding a touch of ethereal beauty to the display, completing a small, exquisite sequence of colors and scents. The delicate, complex perfume of cypress, calamus, and lily from the ornate glass phials slowly begins to recede as you gently replace the last stopper, the soft pop of bronze against glass, a final, quiet punctuation, the subtle shimmer of the precious oils, each a jewel-toned essence, now rests undisturbed on the polished ebony shelf, reflecting the soft, milky glow of the oil lamps. The anointing chamber, steeped in its ethereal fragrances, remains in the profound quietude of the deep Babylonian night, its sounds reduced to an almost imperceptible whisper, a pervasive stillness that invites a deeper, more profound sense of calm. You rise slowly from the cushioned stool, feeling the gentle release of the linen fabric beneath you. Your bare feet glide silently across the cool, smooth basalt tiles of the anointing chamber, guiding you away from the exquisite display of finished oils. The air which held the concentrated sweetness of the perfumes now subtly shifts, becoming cleaner, fresher, as you move through a low, arched passage, its ancient stone cool against your shoulder. This passage leads to a separate, more utilitarian but equally refined preparation area, a space dedicated to the creation of luxurious bath rituals for the royal family. The light here is softer, more muted, filtering from high, narrow alabaster screens that diffuse the faint pre-dawn light, casting long, gentle shadows that stretch across the polished, dark limestone floor. Your bare feet find the familiar, cool, smooth surface, each step a quiet glide. The air is noticeably cooler, carrying a faint, clean scent of damp earth, and a subtle, briny tang, a delicate whisper of the distant sea. Along one wall, a series of low, wide stone basins are built into the wall, each one meticulously cleaned and awaiting its specific purpose. You approach the largest of these basins, its inner surface a pale, creamy limestone, worn smooth by generations of use. Within it, a generous mound of coarse, unrefined sea salt rests, its crystals shimmering faintly in the dim light, a pristine white against the pale stone. You reach out, your fingertips brushing the surface of the salt, feeling its dry, granular texture, each crystal a tiny, sharp point, yet yielding softly under gentle pressure. A faint, clean, briny aroma rises from the salt, a profound scent of ocean and ancient minerals, a grounding presence that speaks of vast, open spaces. An attendant, her movements as fluid and silent as a wisp of mist, kneels beside a smaller, intricately carved cypress wood chest. From its opened lid, a delicate, sweet fragrance of crushed blossoms rises. With precise, unhurried hands, she carefully gathers handfuls of dried rose petals, their muted crimson and pale pink hues contrasting beautifully with the white salt. The petals, brittle and papery, rustle softly with a delicate, she collects them, releasing a pure, sweet perfume. She then gently sprinkles them over the mound of sea salt, allowing them to drift down like fragrant snow, settling softly onto the crystalline surface with an almost imperceptible pat, pat. The vibrant colors of the petals create a delicate, fragrant mosaic on the white salt. Next, she opens a small, lidded alabaster jar, its smooth, milky white surface cool to the touch. Within, a thick, golden liquid shimmers, a specially prepared calming oil, infused with the gentle essences of chamomile and sandalwood. As she lifts the lid, a delicate, sweet, herbaceous aroma, deeply soothing and warm, rises from the jar, mingling with the briny salt and sweet rose petals. With a slender, polished bronze spoon, its surface gleaming softly, she carefully drizzles the viscous oil over the salt and petals. The oil falls in slow, deliberate drops, each one a tiny golden sphere, making a soft, delicate plink as it hits the dry crystals, spreading slowly, almost reluctantly, across the surface, coating the petals with a subtle, shimmering sheen. The harmonious blend of crisp ocean air, sweet rose, and calming herbs from the freshly prepared bath salts still gently envelops the preparation area, a profound aroma that promises deep relaxation. You gently place the obsidian mixing paddle onto a low, cypresswood rack, its smooth, dark surface cool beneath your fingertips, the soft tap a quiet punctuation to your work. The palace, which was once alive with the distant sounds of activity, has now truly settled into the deep quietude of the deep Babylonian night, its sounds reduced to an almost imperceptible whisper, a pervasive stillness that allows for such focused, patient work. Leaving the quiet preparation area behind, you move through a narrow, arched passage, its ancient stone cool against your shoulder, and step into the warm, humid embrace of the private royal bathing chambers. The air here is immediately softer, noticeably denser, infused with the delicate, sweet scent of warm water, and a faint, ethereal perfume of unseen blossoms, a tangible presence that seems to settle around you. The light in this spacious chamber is profoundly diffused, filtering through high, narrow alabaster screens that soften the faint, pre-dawn glow, casting a milky, gentle luminescence that caresses the polished marble walls and the central bathing pool. The pool itself, a magnificent basin carved from a single, immense block of pale, creamy limestone, shimmers with clear, warm water, its surface barely disturbed, reflecting the soft, muted light like a still, tranquil mirror. Your bare feet find the cool, smooth surface of the polished marble floor, a grounding contrast to the gentle, pervasive warmth rising from the water and filling the air. The faint, rhythmic drip of a small, decorative water spout, intricately carved from bronze and shaped like a stylized lion's head, at the far end of the pool is the only sound, a delicate, liquid whisper that deepens the profound quietude of the chamber, a continuous, soothing cadence. You walk with slow, deliberate steps towards a small, intricately carved cedarwood chest, its dark, polished surface gleaming softly in the dim light. It rests securely on a low, polished obsidian stool positioned beside the pool's edge. From its opened lid, a delicate, sweet fragrance rises, a pure essence of fresh blossoms, cool and ethereal. Your fingers reach into the chest, carefully selecting a handful of freshly picked jasmine blossoms, their tiny white petals soft and almost weightless, exquisitely cool to the touch. A faint, sweet, almost ethereal perfume rises from them as you gather them, a pure, clean scent of the night garden, untouched by the day's heat. With deliberate care and an unhurried grace, you gently scatter the jasmine blossoms onto the shimmering surface of the warm water. They drift slowly, gracefully, across the liquid expanse, their delicate forms creating a floating tapestry of pristine white, each tiny flower a serene, luminous island. The softest, almost imperceptible plink accompanies their landing, a tiny, hushed sound as each fragile petal gently meets the warm, yielding liquid. Next, you reach into a separate, shallow basket woven from fine reeds, its earthy texture a subtle contrast to the smooth cedarwood. Within it, a collection of pale pink lotus petals rests, their larger, softer forms a gentle, velvety contrast to the tiny, more delicate jasmine blooms. These lotus petals, freshly gathered at dawn, are cool and exquisitely soft against your fingertips, their subtle coolness a refreshing touch against your skin. Their aroma is a pure, aquatic sweetness, a delicate, serene fragrance that speaks of tranquil ponds and ancient stillness, a profound depth of floral elegance. You gently scatter these lotus petals over the water as well, watching them settle and slowly unfurl, their broader surfaces creating soft, floating rafts of pale, muted pink. The profound, harmonious blend of jasmine and lotus, now fully infused into the warm water of the royal bathing pool, slowly begins to recede behind you. The delicate, fragrant steam which caressed your face moments ago gently dissipates into the humid air of the chamber. You turn from the tranquil pool, its surface now a floating tapestry of pale pink and pristine white petals, and move with unhurried steps across the cool, smooth marble floor, leaving the rhythmic drip-drip of the bronze waterspout to continue its soft liquid song in the quietude. The palace, which has been steeped in the deep quiet of the Babylonian night, still holds this pervasive stillness, a gentle, comforting hush that seems to deepen with the approaching pre-dawn hours. You pass through a low, arched passage, its ancient stone cool against your shoulder, and step into the cooler, drier air of the palace corridor. Your bare feet glide silently across the familiar polished basalt tiles, each step a soft, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient stone. The faint, pre-dawn light, which earlier filtered through alabaster screens, is now a barely discernible gray, hinting at the imminent arrival of the sun. Long, deep shadows cling to the corners of the corridor, softening the edges of the carved stone reliefs, creating a profound sense of quiet depth. Your path leads you to your private study, a sanctuary of knowledge and contemplation. As you push open its heavy, unadorned cedarwood door with a gentle hand, feeling the solid resistance of the thick wood, the faint, deep creak of its ancient hinges is barely audible, quickly fading into the even deeper quiet within. The air here is immediately distinct, cool and dry, imbued with the comforting scent of aged cedarwood and the subtle mineral tang of ancient papyrus scrolls, a profound aroma that speaks of centuries of collected wisdom. The study is illuminated by a single, tall, bronze oil lamp, its flame burning steadily on a high, recessed shelf, casting a soft, golden glow that barely penetrates the profound shadows clinging to the corners of the room. Its light falls upon a low, wide cedarwood writing desk, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich polish, and a comfortable, cushioned stool. You settle onto this stool, feeling the gentle give of the tightly woven linen pad beneath you, a soft, familiar support. The cool, smooth wood of the desk feels grounding beneath your fingertips as you rest your hands upon its surface. Your gaze drifts to a tall, narrow cypress wood chest, positioned against the far wall. This chest, meticulously crafted and adorned with tiny, inlaid mother-of-pearl symbols, holds your most precious and ancient texts. You rise slowly, your bare feet making no sound on the polished, dark wood floor, and approach the chest. With careful hands you unlatch the small, bronze clasp, feeling its cool, smooth metal. The soft click of the latch is a delicate punctuation in the profound quiet. You then slowly open the chest's lid, a faint, dry, creaks of aged cypress wood accompanying its gentle rise, revealing rows of meticulously rolled papyrus scrolls, each tied with a slender linen ribbon. You select a specific scroll, one known for its detailed descriptions of desert botanicals and their medicinal properties. Its papyrus is a pale, brittle yellow-brown, its edges softened by countless readings. As you gently lift it from its resting place, a delicate cloud of fine, almost invisible dust rises, carrying with it a faint, dry fragrance of ancient paper and the subtle, herbaceous scent of dried herbs, a ghost of the plants described within its fragile layers. You carry the scroll carefully back to your desk, feeling its light, delicate weight in your hands, and settle back onto the cushioned stool. With utmost care, you begin to unroll the papyrus. The dry, brittle material yields slowly, a soft, continuous rustle, rustle, rustle sound, accompanying the unfurling. The delicate, dry rustle of the papyrus scroll on desert herbs slowly fades as you gently roll it closed, securing it with its slender linen ribbon. The faint, earthy scent of ancient paper and the ghost of dried botanicals still linger on your fingertips, a subtle reminder of the wisdom contained within its fragile layers. The profound quietude of your study, steeped in the comforting aroma of aged cedarwood, remains undisturbed, save for the soft, steady sizzle of the single bronze oil lamp, its golden flame casting long, unwavering shadows that dance gently across the dark wood floor. The pre-dawn light, which earlier filtered through alabaster screens, has now deepened to an almost complete darkness, signaling the deepest hours before the sun's return. You rise slowly from the cushioned stool, feeling the gentle release of the linen fabric beneath you, and carefully carry the papyrus scroll back to its niche in the tall cypress wood chest. The soft click of the bronze clasp as you secure the lid is a delicate punctuation in the profound quiet. Your bare feet glide silently across the cool, polished, dark wood floor, each step a soft, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient timber. The air in the study is still, dry, and cool, carrying only the faint, clean scent of polished wood and the subtle mineral tang of ancient texts. Your path leads you to a heavy, unadorned, cedarwood door at the far end of your study, a portal to an even deeper sanctuary of knowledge. This is your personal library, a space reserved for the most precious and enduring texts, those crafted from parchment, a material far more robust and lasting than papyrus. You push the door inward with a slow, deliberate motion, feeling the solid resistance of the thick wood, the faint, deep creak of its ancient hinges quickly fading into the even profounder quiet within. Stepping across the threshold, you enter a chamber of hushed reverence. The air here is noticeably cooler, drier, and imbued with a distinct, subtle aroma. A clean, almost leathery scent of aged parchment mingled with the profound, dry sweetness of ancient oak shelves. The room is bathed in the soft, golden glow of several small bronze oil lamps, their flames burning steadily within delicate alabaster shades, casting a milky, diffused light that caresses the tall, intricately carved oak shelves lining the walls from floor to ceiling. The floor beneath your bare feet is the same polished dark wood as your study, cool and unyielding, absorbing every sound. You walk slowly along the towering shelves, your fingers tracing the smooth, cool surface of the ancient oak, feeling the subtle grain of the wood, a faint sound accompanying your touch. Your gaze drifts over the countless volumes, each one a treasure of accumulated wisdom, bound in rich leather or encased in polished cedarwood. You pause before a particular section, dedicated to astronomical observations and the movements of the celestial bodies, a subject that often brings a profound sense of calm in the quiet hours of the night. You reach for a large, heavy volume, bound in dark, supple oxhide leather, its surface smooth and cool to the touch, worn soft by countless hands over generations. The leather gives slightly under your fingertips, a subtle yielding. You feel its satisfying weight as you carefully lift it from the shelf, the faint thump of its removal barely disturbing the profound stillness of the library. You carry the volume back to a low, wide cedarwood table, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich polish, and gently place the heavy book upon it. The soft, solid dide of the leather-bound volume against the polished wood resonates quietly, a deep, satisfying sound that quickly fades. You settle onto a low, cushioned stool, its linen fabric soft and yielding beneath you, absorbing the slight pressure of your weight. The final, soft asterisk, SHHHK asterisk, of the parchment leaf settling back into place echoes gently in the profound quiet of your personal library. The faint, clean, almost leathery scent of the ancient text still lingers on your fingertips as you carefully close the heavy, oxhide-bound volume, securing its ornate bronze clasp with a soft, precise click. The deep quietude of the library, steeped in the comforting aroma of aged oak and the subtle, dry sweetness of ancient parchment, remains undisturbed, save for the soft, steady sizzle of the oil lamp, its golden flame casting long, unwavering shadows. The pre-dawn darkness is now yielded to the gentle, nascent light of a new Babylonian morning, a pale gray filtering through the high vents, hinting at the imminent arrival of the sun. You rise slowly from the cushioned stool, feeling the gentle release of the linen fabric beneath you, and carefully return the heavy volume to its designated niche on the tall, dark oak shelf. The soft thump of the book settling into place is a delicate punctuation in the profound stillness. Your bare feet glide silently across the cool, polished, dark wood floor, each step a soft, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient timber, guiding you away from the hushed sanctuary of knowledge. You pass through the study, its cedarwood scent now faint, and move into a series of open, arched passages. The cool, smooth basalt tiles, a familiar presence beneath your soles. The air here is noticeably fresher, lighter, carrying the subtle, clean scent of damp earth and the distant, muted sounds of the palace slowly stirring to life. A faint, almost imperceptible clatter from a far-off kitchen, a soft, rhythmic sweep of a broom on distant flagstones. The early morning sun, still low, now casts long, pale golden shafts of light through the archways, illuminating dust motes dancing in the cool air. Your path leads you to a secluded palace courtyard, a hidden gem within the vast architectural expanse. As you step into this tranquil space, the air immediately feels cooler, softer, a welcome respite from the growing warmth of the morning sun. The courtyard is enclosed by high, cool limestone walls, their surfaces a pale, creamy white, now bathed in a gentle, diffused light. In its center, a magnificent fig tree stands, its wide, gnarled branches reaching outwards, creating a dense canopy of broad, dark green leaves that cast a profound, inviting shade across a circular area of finely raked gravel. The faint, earthy scent of damp soil and the subtle, sweet aroma of ripening figs, still hidden among the leaves, perfumes the air, a natural, grounding presence. You walk towards the fig tree, your bare feet making a soft, continuous sound as they glide over the fine, cool gravel. The gravel itself feels pleasantly textured beneath your soles, a delicate massage with each step. As you approach the tree, the coolness of its shade becomes palpable, a distinct drop in temperature that feels profoundly refreshing against your skin. The rough, textured bark of the tree's thick trunk, a deep, earthy brown, seems to absorb the remaining warmth, offering a cool embrace. You settle onto a low, smooth, polished basalt bench, its surface cool and unyielding, built into the base of the fig tree's trunk. The cool stone feels firm and grounding beneath you, a stable anchor in the gentle quiet. Above, the broad, leathery leaves of the fig tree form a dense, protective canopy. Tiny, almost imperceptible shafts of sunlight manage to pierce through the thick foliage, creating delicate, shimmering patterns of light and shadow that dance softly on the raked gravel, constantly shifting with the slightest movement of the leaves. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling the cool, soft air on your face, allowing the profound stillness of the secluded courtyard to envelop you. The profound stillness beneath the cool, embracing shade of the ancient fig tree slowly begins to yield its hold as the gentle, dry rustle of its broad, leathery leaves softens into a quiet memory. You remain seated on the low, smooth basalt bench, feeling its cool, firm support against your legs and back, a grounded presence in the secluded courtyard. The distant, muted hum of the palace, a soft, indistinct whisper, continues to rise from beyond the high limestone walls, a constant, gentle counterpoint to the quietude surrounding you. The morning sun, now higher in the Babylonian sky, casts long, shifting patterns of light and shadow on the finely raked gravel, its warmth gradually intensifying just beyond the tree's protective canopy. You slowly open your eyes, allowing your gaze to drift from the dappled light on the gravel to the edges of the courtyard. The air, which was cool and earthy beneath the fig tree, now feels subtly warmer, softer, as a gentle, almost imperceptible breeze begins to stir. This breeze carries with it a new, delicate sweetness, a profoundly floral aroma that beckons gently from a sunnier corner of the courtyard. You rise slowly from the basalt bench, feeling the gradual release of pressure, and begin to walk, your bare feet making a soft, continuous shoo sound as they glide over the fine, cool gravel, moving away from the deep shade of the fig tree. Your path, a narrow, winding track of smooth gray river stones, leads you towards a section of the limestone wall, bathed in the direct, warm light of the morning sun. Here, a dense hedge of oleander bushes thrives, their branches heavy with countless delicate blooms. The sun-baked limestone of the wall radiates a gentle, pervasive warmth, a soft heat against your bare skin as you approach. The air around the oleander is noticeably warmer, imbued with a rich, complex fragrance, a sweet, almost heady perfume, subtly green and distinctly floral. A profound essence that seems to deepen with the increasing warmth of the sun. You pause before the oleander, allowing your eyes to observe the delicate beauty of its blossoms. They are a myriad of soft pinks and creamy whites, each bloom a cluster of 5 delicate petals, their edges a subtle, almost imperceptible ruffle. The leaves are long, slender, and a dark, glossy green, their smooth surfaces reflecting the sunlight with a faint, shimmering gleam. As a warm breeze, gentle and unhurried, passes through the dense foliage, the leaves and petals perform a slow, delicate swish-swish dance, a soft, continuous whisper of movement that subtly releases more of their exquisite perfume into the air. The fragrance, already rich, deepens with each gentle stir of the wind, a profound and enveloping sweetness that invites a slow, deep inhalation. Your attention is then drawn to the soft, continuous hum emanating from within the blooming oleander. It is the gentle, steady sound of numerous bees, their tiny forms a blur of golden brown and black, diligently moving from one delicate blossom to the next. The hum is low, rhythmic, a soothing, almost hypnotic vibration that blends seamlessly with the subtle rustle of the leaves and the distant, muted sounds of the palace. Each bee, a tiny, industrious worker, moves with a purposeful slowness, their delicate legs brushing against the soft petals, gathering the sweet nectar. You watch as one bee, its furry body almost invisible amidst the pink blossoms, gently probes the heart of a bloom, its wings a rapid, almost invisible blur, creating a soft, continuous asterisk, Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z asterisk sound that is both delicate and persistent. The air, already thick with the sweet scent of oleander, now carries a subtle, earthy undertone from the bees, a faint, sweet aroma of pollen and honey. The warm breeze continues its gentle passage, a soft caress against your skin, carrying the mingled scents of oleander and pollen, and the low, continuous hum of the bees. The gentle hum of the bees, a constant, soft vibration among the blooming oleander, slowly begins to recede behind you as the warm morning breeze lifts and carries away the last delicate whispers of its sweet, heady perfume. You rise from your contemplation in the secluded palace courtyard, leaving the sun-dappled gravel and the comforting shade of the fig tree. The warmth of the sun on your bare skin intensifies as you step from the direct light, a subtle transition from the natural world back into the structured quiet of the palace. Your bare feet glide across the cool, smooth basalt tiles of the palace corridor. Each step a soft, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient stone. The distant, muted sounds of the palace, a soft, indistinct hum, continue their gentle rhythm, a familiar backdrop to your movements. You pass through a low, arched passage, its ancient stone cool against your shoulder, and push open the heavy cedarwood door of your private perfumery. The faint, deep creak of its well-oiled hinges is barely audible, quickly fading into the richer, denser air within. The atmosphere here is immediately distinct, cooler and drier than the humid courtyard, imbued with the complex, layered aromas of resins, dried herbs, and precious oils, a profound and comforting embrace that speaks of purpose and tradition. The perfumery is bathed in a soft, diffused light, filtering through high alabaster screens that soften the harshness of the morning sun, casting a milky glow over the meticulously organized shelves. Rows of small stoppered glass vials, each containing a precious, concentrated, essential oil, gleam softly from their dark ebony stands along one wall. These are the rare essences gathered from distant lands, destined for the most significant blends. You walk towards this display, your gaze drifting over the myriad of tiny vessels, each one a miniature treasure, holding a potent aromatic secret. The cool, polished dark wood of the shelves feels grounding, a silent support for these delicate containers. Your hand hovers over a collection of larger, more substantial vessels, crafted from polished bronze and dark, smooth, serpentine stone, which hold the foundational carrier oils. You select a slender, elegant bronze amphora, its surface gleaming with a deep, burnished luster, cool and smooth beneath your fingertips. It contains the purest, cold-pressed olive oil, a clear, pale golden liquid, its faint, earthy aroma, a perfect, neutral canvas. The amphora feels substantial, its weight a comforting presence in your hand, a vessel of ancient craft and enduring purpose. You carefully lift it, feeling the subtle balance, and carry it to a low, wide blending table crafted from polished dark ebony, its surface gleaming softly, awaiting the creation of the diplomatic offering. The table is clean, prepared, a pristine workspace. You place the bronze amphora gently on the ebony table, its smooth base making a soft clink against the polished wood. Your gaze then returns to the array of smaller glass vials on the nearby shelf, searching for a specific essence known for its grounding and calming properties, yet with a subtle exotic appeal, suitable for a diplomatic offering. You find it, a tiny dark glass vial, its surface cool and smooth, containing the precious spikenard oil. This oil, a deep, earthy amber, is rarely used, reserved for moments requiring profound respect and a touch of ancient mystery. With utmost care, you unstopper the phial, feeling the precise, gentle resistance of the polished wooden plug. A faint, almost imperceptible pop accompanies its release, and a deep, complex aroma rises to meet you. It is an earthy, musky, almost root-like fragrance, with subtle hints of damp soil and ancient forests, profoundly grounding and subtly sweet, a scent that speaks of wisdom and quiet strength. The profound earthy aroma of spikenard, now softened by the warmth of your fingertip, gently lingers on the polished basalt disc, a rich, grounding presence in the perfumery. The soft, diffused light, filtering through the high alabaster screens, casts long, gentle shadows that deepen the sense of quiet concentration around the dark, ebony blending table. The air is still, thick with the promise of the diplomatic offering, a tranquil moment of aromatic contemplation as the mid-morning sun steadily climbs higher in the Babylonian sky. You gently set aside the small, round basalt disc, its cool, smooth surface now bearing the faint, oily sheen of the spikenard. Your gaze drifts across the blending table, moving past the bronze amphora of olive oil and the array of small glass vials, towards a small, ornate jar awaiting its final preparation. This jar, crafted from highly polished alabaster, gleams with a milky white luminescence, its surface exquisitely smooth and cool to the touch. It is carved with delicate, repeating patterns of stylized date palms and flowing rivers, symbols of prosperity and life, a vessel perfectly suited for a diplomatic gift. You carefully lift the jar, feeling its delicate weight, its smooth, cool surface, a comforting presence in your palm. You carry the alabaster jar to a separate, smaller section of the ebony table, where a low, wide bronze brazier rests, its sides intricately etched with cuneiform symbols of protection and blessing. Within the brazier, a small, carefully controlled charcoal ember glows with a soft, steady orange light, radiating a gentle, consistent warmth into the surrounding air. Beside it, on a tiny, polished obsidian dish, rests a single, slender stick of deep crimson sealing wax, its surface smooth and slightly brittle. The wax, infused with a subtle hint of frankincense resin, emits the faintest, sweet, resinous aroma, a delicate whisper of its sacred components, subtly warming in the presence of the brazier. You gently place the ornate alabaster jar onto a small, round cedarwood stand, positioned directly beside the brazier, its polished surface cool and smooth beneath the jar's delicate base. Then, with careful hands, you pick up the stick of sealing wax. Its cool, firm texture feels grounding between your fingers. You hold one end of the crimson wax stick directly over the glowing charcoal ember, just close enough for the heat to begin its slow, patient work. The tip of the wax stick immediately begins to soften, then slowly, almost imperceptibly, darken, transforming from a solid, brittle form to a viscous, shimmering liquid. The faint, sweet aroma of frankincense intensifies slightly, a delicate, warm perfume that mingles with the subtle, dry scent of the glowing charcoal. A tiny glistening bead of molten crimson wax forms at the very tip of the stick, catching the soft lamplight with a deep jewel-like intensity. You watch it, mesmerized by its slow, deliberate formation, feeling the subtle warmth radiating from the wax stick through your fingers. With a steady hand, you gently tilt the wax stick, allowing the first drop of molten wax to detach. It falls with a soft, almost inaudible plink onto the smooth, cool surface of the alabaster jar's stopper, spreading slowly, almost reluctantly, into a perfect, shimmering crimson circle. Another drop follows, then another, each one settling gently, building a small, lustrous pool of warm, fragrant wax around the stopper's base. The subtle plink, plink, plink of the falling wax is delicate and rhythmic, a hypnotic, soft cadence in the quiet chamber. The warm, sweet scent of frankincense now mingles with the subtle, deep perfume of the royal oil within the jar, creating a harmonious aromatic embrace. Once a sufficient pool of molten wax is formed, you gently place the wax stick back onto the obsidian dish, its warm tip making a faint, soft hiss as it touches the cool stone. The faint, dry snap of the royal seal detaching from the crimson wax, and the soft click of the alabaster jar settling on its cedarwood stand, mark the completion of the diplomatic offering. The lingering sweet aroma of frankincense from the sealing wax, subtly mingled with the precious oil within, still perfumes the air of the perfumery. The soft, diffused light, filtering through the high alabaster screens, casts long, gentle shadows that deepen the sense of quiet concentration around the dark ebony blending table. As the mid-morning sun steadily climbs higher in the Babylonian sky, its warmth now begins to penetrate even these inner chambers, hinting at the day's full embrace. You lift the perfectly sealed alabaster jar, its smooth, cool surface, a comforting presence in your hand, and carefully place it into a small, velvet-lined cypress wood box, its dark, polished surface gleaming softly. The soft wood box of the jar settling into the plush fabric is barely audible, a gentle cushioning. You close the lid of the box with a soft, precise click of its bronze clasp, securing the precious gift. Your bare feet glide silently across the cool, smooth basalt tiles of the perfumery. Each step, a soft, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient stone, guiding you away from the concentrated aromas of your workshop. You move through a series of broad, arched passages, leaving the familiar sense of resins and oils behind. The palace corridors here are noticeably wider, taller, paved with immense polished limestone flagstones that stretch into the distance, their pale, creamy surfaces cool and unyielding beneath your soles. The light is brighter, more open, filtering from vast, high archways that lead to courtyards, casting long, pale, golden shafts of light that illuminate dust motes dancing in the cool air. The distant, muted hum of the palace, now fully awake, is a soft, indistinct whisper, a gentle, pervasive backdrop to the profound silence of these grand spaces. Your path leads you to the threshold of one of the palace's grand halls, an immense, vaulted chamber of breathtaking scale. As you step across the threshold, the sheer volume of the space is immediately apparent. Towering columns of dark, polished basalt rise majestically towards a soaring, intricately carved cedarwood ceiling, their surfaces cool and smooth, reflecting the diffused light with a deep, subtle sheen. The floor is a vast expanse of the same polished limestone as the corridors, stretching far into the distance, its cool surface reflecting the pale light like a still, silent lake. The air here is vast, cool and still, carrying only the faintest, clean scent of polished stone and ancient wood, a profound sense of quiet grandeur. Along the edges of the hall, near the base of the colossal columns, several small, ornate bronze censers stand on low, polished alabaster pedestals. Two quiet attendants, their movements fluid and respectful, are already at work, their faces serene with focused concentration. One attendant, with careful hands, places a small, glowing charcoal ember into the heart of a bronze censer, the soft clink of metal against metal barely audible. A delicate wisp of warm, smoky air rises, quickly dissipating into the vastness of the hall. The second attendant then approaches the censer, holding a small, intricately carved cedarwood box. From within, she carefully selects tiny, fragrant chips of dried cypress wood, their surfaces a pale, creamy yellow and fine, dark, reddish-brown shavings of cedar. The wood chips are dry, almost brittle, and as she gently sprinkles them over the glowing ember, they make a delicate, dry tishil sound as they fall, followed by a faint, continuous sizzle as they begin to warm and release their precious essences. The subtle, clean, woody aroma of cypress and cedar, which you just helped to release into the vastness of the palace's grand hall, now begins its slow, deliberate journey of diffusion. The faint, continuous sizzle of the warming wood chips in the bronze censers, and the delicate, almost imperceptible écrous of the rising smoke slowly recede behind you as you turn from the active scenting process. The soft, diffused light filtering through the high alabaster screens continues to caress the immense, polished limestone floor, its cool, smooth surface, a familiar presence beneath your bare feet as you begin to walk away from the heart of the grand hall. Your steps are slow, unhurried, echoing faintly in the vast, silent space. The air here, in the immediate vicinity of the censers, is still rich with the distinct, invigorating scent of cypress, sharp and clean, mingling with the deeper, warmer embrace of cedar. You feel the cool, vast expanse of the hall around you, its towering basalt columns rising majestically towards the intricately carved cedarwood ceiling, their surfaces reflecting the muted light with a deep, subtle sheen. The distant, indistinct hum of the palace, a soft, pervasive whisper, seems to be absorbed by the sheer volume of the space, making the spreading fragrance feel even more pronounced. You move towards a wide, arched passage, its ancient, cool stone, a solid presence as you pass beneath. The air subtly shifts, becoming slightly denser, more contained, as you enter a long, quiet corridor that winds deeper into the private wings of the palace. The polished limestone flagstones continue underfoot, cool and unyielding, guiding your steps. The light here is dimmer, softer, filtering from recessed oil lamps in distant niches, casting long, gentle shadows that stretch and sway gently across the carved stone reliefs adorning the walls. Each lamp flame burns with a quiet, unwavering intensity, their subtle warmth radiating outwards, a comforting presence in the cooling air. As you walk, the lingering fragrance of the burning aromatics from the grand hall begins to envelop you more completely. It is no longer a distinct, sharp burst, but a pervasive, continuous presence, a delicate woody veil that subtly scents the cool, still air of the corridor. The cypress offers its clean, almost camphorous freshness, a gentle lift that seems to cleanse the very air, while the cedar provides a grounding, resinous sweetness, a profound warmth that settles deep within the breath. The two aromas, perfectly balanced, intertwine and embrace, creating a harmonious blend that speaks of ancient forests and enduring tranquility. Your bare fingers trace the cool, smooth surface of a carved stone relief as you pass, feeling the subtle indentations and raised patterns of its intricate design. A faint, almost imperceptible film of aromatic dust, carried on the gentle air currents, adheres to your fingertips, a subtle testament to the pervasive scent. The air itself feels soft, almost silken, as you inhale slowly, allowing the profound woody fragrance to fill your lungs, a deep, cleansing breath that seems to settle your thoughts. The faint, subtle whisper of your fingertips against the cool stone is the only sound, a delicate friction that quickly fades into the pervasive quiet. You continue your slow, deliberate walk through the long, quiet corridor, the lingering fragrance, a constant companion. The rhythmic, almost imperceptible tap-tap-tap of your own bare feet on the cool limestone is a soft, hypnotic cadence, blending seamlessly with the deep quietude of the palace. The distant, muted hum of the waking day is now almost entirely absorbed by the encompassing stillness and the pervasive, comforting aroma. The air feels heavy, with a profound and gentle peace, deeply scented with the essence of these ancient, grounding woods, a tranquil embrace that invites a deep and restorative slumber. The lingering fragrance of burning cypress and cedar, which subtly scented the palace's grand halls, now gently recedes behind you as you move through the quiet corridors. The soft, diffused light, filtering from distant oil lamps, casts long, gentle shadows that stretch and sway across the carved stone reliefs, guiding your path in the deep quietude of the Babylonian night. Your bare feet glide silently across the cool, smooth limestone flagstones, each step a soft, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient stone. The air here is cool, still, and carries only the faintest, clean scent of polished stone and ancient wood, a profound sense of quiet depth. You turn down a familiar, narrow passage, its walls lined with tall, slender cypress wood cabinets, their dark surfaces gleaming with a deep, rich polish. This passage leads you towards your private herb garden, a sanctuary of natural beauty and profound tranquility. You push open a heavy cedarwood door, its surface smooth and cool to the touch, feeling the solid resistance of the thick wood. The faint, deep creak of its well-oiled hinges is barely audible, quickly fading into the even deeper quiet within. Stepping across the threshold, you enter a chamber of soft, cool air and delicate fragrances. The air is immediately imbued with a complex, ethereal aroma. A soft, sweet blend of night-blooming jasmine, the earthy scent of damp soil, and the subtle, peppery notes of distant herbs. The room is illuminated by the pale, silvery light of the moon, filtering through high, narrow alabaster screens that soften its brilliance, casting a milky, diffused glow that caresses the polished flagstone path. The floor beneath your bare feet is a dark, smooth basalt, cool and unyielding, absorbing every sound. You walk with slow, deliberate steps along the winding flagstone path, your bare feet finding the familiar cool, smooth surface, each step a quiet glide. The path leads you deeper into the heart of your private herb garden, where the moonlight now casts long, ethereal shadows that stretch and dance across the meticulously tended beds. The shadows, deep and velvety black, lie in stark contrast to the pale, silvery luminescence of the moonlight, creating a dynamic, yet profoundly tranquil, interplay of light and dark. Each shadow, cast by a tall cypress tree or a dense oleander bush, seems to stretch and lengthen with an almost imperceptible slowness, a silent ballet of light and form. Your gaze drifts over the sleeping garden, observing the delicate forms of the plants bathed in the moon's gentle glow. Beds of thyme and marjoram, their tiny leaves now a muted silver, appear almost otherworldly under the pale light. The air here is clean, infused with the mingled, earthy scents of damp soil and green growth, a grounding aroma that clears the senses. A subtle sweet perfume of night-blooming jasmine, now fully open and releasing its exquisite fragrance, drifts on an almost imperceptible breeze, a delicate counterpoint to the earthy notes. You pause beside a particularly dense cluster of flowering jasmine, its delicate, dark green leaves now shimmering with a silvery sheen under the moonlight. The shadows cast by its slender branches are intricate, delicate lacework on the pale gravel path, constantly shifting with the slightest movement of the moon across the sky. Your hand reaches out instinctively, gently brushing your fingertips across a cluster of the jasmine leaves, feeling their cool, smooth surface, a delicate touch that releases a faint, sweet whisper of its potent fragrance. The air, now lightly scented with the ethereal sweetness of jasmine, feels soft against your skin as you continue your slow, observant stroll. The rhythmic, soft chauffage of the distant palace fountain, a continuous, liquid whisper, reaches your ears, filtered by distance and the thick garden walls. The intricate dance of moonlight and shadow across the herb garden's paths slowly softens, their silvery edges blurring as you turn from the fragrant jasmine, drawn by a subtle, deeper whisper carried on the night air. The profound quietude of the moonlit garden, punctuated by the distant, liquid murmur of the fountain, begins to shift, inviting your attention to a different, equally tranquil element of the ancient night. Your bare feet glide softly across the cool, smooth flagstones, each step a gentle, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient stone, guiding you away from the dense, low-lying, aromatic beds. You move along a narrow, winding path, bordered by low, intricately carved limestone edges, feeling the familiar coolness of the polished stone beneath your soles. The air here in this more open section of the secluded courtyard feels lighter, drier, subtly infused with the clean, earthy scent of damp soil, and the faintest sweet perfume of night-blooming oleander from a distant bush. The moonlight, now higher in the sky, casts a pale, ethereal glow across the entire garden, transforming the familiar landscape into a serene, almost dreamlike tableau of silver and deep shadow. The distant rhythmic of the palace fountain, a continuous liquid whisper, becomes a gentle, pervasive backdrop, a soothing counterpoint to the profound stillness that otherwise reigns. Your path leads you towards a cluster of tall, slender palm trees, their majestic forms rising like silent sentinels against the deep, velvety indigo of the night sky. Their thick, gnarled trunks, a dark, rough texture even in the dim light, stand firmly rooted in beds of finely raked gravel, their bases absorbing the subtle warmth that lingers in the earth from the day's sun. As you approach, the coolness of the night air seems to deepen, brushing gently against your bare skin, a refreshing caress that carries with it the clean, dry scent of distant desert, subtly mingling with the garden's own nocturnal perfumes. You pause beneath the towering palms, allowing your gaze to drift upwards, following the long, slender trunks to where their massive fronds unfurl against the moonlit sky. Each frond, a vast feather-like structure, appears a muted silver against the deep expanse of night, its countless individual leaflets arranged with an intricate, natural precision. The moonlight catches their broad surfaces, illuminating them with a soft, otherworldly luminescence, making them seem almost translucent. The air around you is perfectly still for a moment, a profound quiet that allows for deep, unhurried observation. Then, a gentle, almost imperceptible breeze begins to stir, a soft, cool current that sweeps through the upper reaches of the palm trees. The massive fronds respond with a slow, deliberate swaying, their vast forms moving with a graceful, rhythmic undulation against the luminous sky. As they move, a soft, continuous sound rises, a delicate, dry rustle of countless individual leaflets, brushing gently against each other. It is a subtle, hypnotic sound, a natural whisper that seems to ebb and flow with the invisible currents of the night air, a profound and ancient lullaby that deepens the sense of peace. The sound is not sharp or jarring, but a soft, consistent friction, a quiet sigh from the sleeping giants. The breeze continues its slow, unhurried passage, a soft caress against your face and arms, carrying the mingled scents of the dry desert air and the subtle, sweet perfume of the night-blooming jasmine from the distant garden beds. The rhythmic shush of the palm fronds, a continuous, gentle rustle, becomes a pervasive presence, a delicate, natural rhythm that seems to slow your own breathing, inviting a profound and quiet surrender to the enveloping tranquility of the night. The soft, continuous of the palm fronds in the night air, a delicate, hypnotic rustle, slowly begins to recede behind you as you turn from the moonlit expanse of the secluded palace courtyard. The cool, dry breeze which carried the subtle scent of distant desert gently fades from your skin as you move with unhurried steps towards the familiar, low archway that leads back into the interior of the palace. The profound quietude of the Babylonian night still envelops the ancient stones, its sounds reduced to an almost imperceptible whisper, a pervasive stillness that promises deep rest. Your bare feet glide softly across the cool, smooth basalt tiles of the palace corridor. Each step a gentle, almost imperceptible whisper against the ancient stone. The air here, in the inner passages, is noticeably warmer, denser, imbued with the faint, comforting scent of aged cedarwood and polished stone. The moonlight, which illuminated the courtyard, is now entirely absent, replaced by the deep, enveloping darkness of the sleeping palace. Only the faintest golden glow from a single distant oil lamp, recessed in a niche further down the passage, casts long, dancing shadows that stretch and sway gently across the carved stone reliefs, guiding your path. You reach the heavy cedarwood door of your private chamber, its surface smooth and cool to the touch, feeling the solid resistance of the thick wood. With a slow, deliberate hand, you push it inward. The faint, deep creak of its well-oiled hinges is barely audible, quickly fading into the even deeper quiet within. Stepping across the threshold, you enter the familiar sanctuary of your cedarwood chamber. The air here is still, warm and subtly perfumed with the resinous, comforting scent of the wood, mingled with the faint, sweet memory of the day's activities. The room is almost entirely dark, save for a single, small alabaster oil lamp, its flame burning steadily on a low, carved cedarwood table beside your bed, casting a soft, milky glow that barely pushes back the profound shadows clinging to the corners of the room. Its subtle warmth radiates outwards, a gentle, comforting presence in the cool night. You walk towards the lamp, your bare feet making no sound on the cool, polished basalt tiles. With a slow, deliberate motion, you reach for the small, dark bronze snuffer, its cool, smooth surface, a familiar weight in your hand. Gently, you lower it over the flickering wick. A faint, almost imperceptible sound accompanies the extinguishing flame, followed by a delicate wisp of warm, smoky air that quickly dissipates into the profound stillness. The chamber is now plunged into an almost complete darkness, save for the faintest ethereal moonlight filtering through the high, narrow alabaster window, casting only the softest, most indistinct gray light that barely outlines the heavy, carved cedarwood chest at the foot of your bed. The air feels heavier, deeper, with the arrival of true night. You turn towards your bed, its soft, inviting form a dark presence in the gloom. The heavy, embroidered linen covers are already turned back, revealing the smooth, cool surface of the underlying linen sheet. You sit slowly on the edge of the bed, feeling the subtle give of the woven mattress beneath you, a gentle yielding that supports your weight. Your bare feet rest on the cool, smooth basalt floor, a grounding presence. You reach towards the small, intricately carved cedarwood bedside table, its surface smooth and cool, where a tiny, lidded alabaster vial rests. This vial contains the soothing lavender oil prepared specifically for moments of deep rest. Your fingers brush against the cool, smooth surface of the alabaster vial, feeling its delicate, milky texture. With utmost care, you gently unstopper the vial, feeling the precise, subtle resistance of the polished wooden plug. The cool, smooth lavender oil still spreads its soothing essence across your temples, a delicate, calming presence in the profound darkness of your cedarwood chamber. The last faint flicker of the oil lamp has long since vanished, leaving only the barest hint of ethereal moonlight through the high, narrow alabaster window, painting the room in shades of indistinct gray. The palace, which held a subtle hum of life just hours ago, has now surrendered completely to the deep quietude of the Babylonian night, a pervasive stillness that seems to absorb all sound, a profound and encompassing hush. You remain seated on the edge of your bed, your bare feet cool and grounded on the polished basalt tiles. Slowly, deliberately, you shift your weight, allowing your body to recline onto the soft, woven mattress. The cool, smooth linen sheet welcomes your skin, its fine threads a gentle caress as you stretch out, finding the familiar contours of your resting place. A faint, dry sound accompanies the subtle movement of the linen beneath you, a delicate whisper that quickly fades into the deep quiet. Your head settles onto the plump, soft cushion of your pillow, its natural linen casing cool against your cheek. You feel the gentle support cradling your head, allowing your neck to fully relax, releasing any lingering tension. With slow, unhurried movements, you draw the heavy, embroidered linen blanket up over your body, feeling its substantial weight. It settles over you, a comforting embrace, the thick, woven threads, a soft, yielding presence against your skin, providing a profound sense of security. The faint rustle of the fabric is soft and muffled, blending into the ambient stillness, a delicate sound that seems to encourage deeper quiet. You close your eyes, allowing the profound darkness to deepen, feeling the gentle warmth of your body begin to radiate into the cool linen. Your breathing slows, becoming deeper, more even, a soft, rhythmic inhale and exhale that seems to fill the quiet chamber, a gentle, internal tide. The subtle, clean, herbaceous scent of lavender, still present on your temples, now mingles with a faint, almost imperceptible tapestry of other aromas that seem to linger in the air around you, echoes of your perfumer's day. There is the ghost of sharp frankincense, a delicate whisper of deep, warm myrrh, the ethereal sweetness of lotus, a grounding hint of fresh cedar, and the soft, pure essence of rose, each note a fleeting memory, blending into a singular, comforting perfume that subtly envelops you, a complex and soothing aromatic embrace. The palace is utterly silent now. Even the distant hum of the sleeping city has dissolved into an encompassing stillness, a profound absence of sound that allows the subtle internal rhythms of your own body to become the only discernible presence. You feel the gentle, steady beat of your heart, a slow, rhythmic thump-thump, deep within your chest, a quiet assurance in the pervasive calm. The slight rise and fall of your chest with each breath becomes a gentle, rocking motion, a soft, internal lullaby that cradles you deeper into the mattress. The subtle coolness of the linen against your skin and the comforting weight of the blanket create a cocoon of profound peace and quiet surrender. You let your thoughts soften, allowing them to drift like the faint, aromatic smoke of a distant censer dissolving into the vast, dark quiet. The sensation of your body sinking deeper into the soft mattress is profound, a gentle surrender to the earth's embrace. The lingering, subtle scents of your perfumer's day, now a harmonious, ethereal blend, seem to cradle your mind, each note a soft whisper of beauty and calm, a delicate aromatic tapestry that soothes your very being. The profound darkness behind your eyelids feels vast and welcoming, a boundless space for true rest.